Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. Many children, many blessing, start as Invincible by Detoxifying My Sister-in-Law. Chapter 61. Speaking of this, the middle-aged man raised his head, seemingly extremely proud, while his eyes were filled with strong confidence. Just like what he said, Yin Ting Ting being able to marry a chi refining stage cultivator at the age of 110, how proud he was. His master is willing to marry Yin Ting Ting, as if Yin Ting Ting has gained a great advantage, and Yin Wei can also benefit greatly. This appearance made Yin Wei unable to help but sneer in her heart, feeling nauseous. Since the appearance of the middle-aged man, Yin Wei has felt annoyed. The reason why she is angry and furious is because she has heard of the master mentioned by the middle-aged man. He is already 110 years old, and he still wants to marry his daughter. Isn't this a joke? A chi refining stage cultivator, so old, still wants to sprout new leaves like an old tree. If the other party is a true powerhouse at the foundation building stage, then 110 years old is not a big deal, and she wouldn't be angry. After all, a true powerhouse at the foundation building stage can live for 200 to 300 years, which is a lifetime longer than ordinary people. 110 years old at the foundation building stage is equivalent to middle age for ordinary mortals. Generally, the lifespan of ordinary mortals, if there are no accidents or illnesses, is about 100 years, dying of old age. And the lifespan of a chi refining stage cultivator can reach at least 170 years, with an additional 10 years of life for each level of cultivation. A chi refining stage cultivator at the 4th level can only live to about 140 years. Now he is already over 110 years old, and this is the age she knows. The actual age may be even older. And it is said that the cultivator has already been poisoned by pills, and he may only have a few years left to live. It is simply ridiculous for him to want to marry her beautiful and youthful daughter. Her daughter is in the prime of her youth, the most brilliant age, like a flower in full bloom. Thinking about being ruined by a 110-year-old old man, Yin Wei is naturally unhappy. But usually this old man has the reputation of a demon. She has heard of old man Duo Bao. The treasures here are obtained by him through killing and plundering. He specifically hunts down cultivators who are not strong and do not have any family or sect background, in order to obtain some treasures that he considers valuable. That's why he has such a reputation. However, Yin Wei dare not argue. The most important thing is that Yin Wei, who is familiar with some information about cultivators, knows that although old man Duo Bao's strength is not enough to be feared, he is actually a member of the Black Fiend sect. The Black Fiend sect is somewhat similar to a demonic sect. Although there are no nascent soul stage cultivators as powerful as the 4 major sects, they have a chi refining stage 9th level sect master. Old man Duo Bao is an elder in the Black Fiend sect. Although the Black Fiend sect is nearly 3,000 miles away from here and is located near the Joyous Union sect, not under the jurisdiction of the 100 Flowers sect, 3,000 miles is not too far for cultivators. In her anger, Yin Wei finally shook her head. She was about to speak, but after seeing Yin Wei shake her head, the confident smile on the middle-aged man's face paused for a moment. Soon, with a cold face, the middle-aged man squinted his eyes and his aura soared. "What's wrong, Lord Yin? Are you not willing to agree to the marriage between my master and your daughter?" Speaking of this, the middle-aged man took a few steps forward again, staring at Yin Wei with his eyes narrowed. "I advise Lord Yin not to make a mistake. My master is eagerly looking forward to this marriage. Lord Yin, you are from the Yin family, and your maternal family is very close to the range of the Black Fiend sect, which is controlled by the Joyous Union sect. You should be aware of their methods. I heard that it seems that the people of the Black Fiend sect are targeting the Yin family, and recently there have been conflicts between the Joyous Union sect and the 100 Flowers sect. The immortals of the Joyous Union sect often cross the border, and the people of the Black Fiend sect might also try to cross the border and play around. At that time, without my master's mediation, I'm afraid your Yin family won't be able to protect yourselves, and this Cottonwood City and the surrounding area will be prone to disasters. Especially, you and your daughter are likely to be in danger. Tisk tisk, what will you do then?" Under the rising momentum, the middle-aged man sighed with a click of his tongue. Yin Wei shook her head, actually wanting to explain. She knew she couldn't refuse directly, but she didn't expect this middle-aged man to not give her a chance to speak at all. Now Yin Wei really wanted to curse out loud. She didn't expect that this middle-aged man would dare to threaten her with the lives of the Yin family. At the same time, he even said that the Joyous Union sect and the Black Fiend sect would also be here, and that cultivators would come to cause trouble. It was simply a double threat. Threatening with the lives of her family, threatening with her own and Yin Tingting's lives. With a dark expression on her face, Yin Wei slammed her hands on the table, her eyes staring at the middle-aged man like a hawk. Just because cultivators divide territories, your Black Fiend sect's so-called lord, Old Man Duo Bao, wants to occupy this territory too. Ha ha ha, if you want to completely occupy this territory, you'll have to see if your Black Fiend sect or even the Joyous Union sect have the qualifications to defeat the 100 Flowers sect and occupy this area. This is the territory of the 100 Flowers sect now, it's not your turn to meddle. Oh, so we're tearing our faces now. The middle-aged man smiled. You're right, Lord Yin, that's exactly it, our lord has this purpose. This is the territory of the 100 Flowers sect now, but isn't the lord of Cottonwood City still you? As long as our lord marries your daughter Yin Tingting, then you can secretly go against those cultivators of the 100 Flowers sect who only know how to cultivate. Isn't everything in Cottonwood City under our control? Do you understand what I mean? So this is your plan. Yin Wei finally understood. Old Man Duo Bao is from the Black Fiend sect, he must be lacking in cultivation resources, or because of other goals, he wants to occupy Cottonwood City. The Black Fiend sect can't even compete head-on with the 100 Flowers sect, let alone the Joyous Union sect. After all, for them, there is no need. Now the front line is in a critical situation, it's a time for unity, but there are always people in the rear who, for their own selfishness, want to break the agreement and achieve their own goals. Old Man Duo Bao is such a person. Seeing Yin Hui's understanding, the middle-aged man nodded. Then the middle-aged man no longer stood in front of Yin Wei, but looked her up and down, then sat back in his chair and started drinking tea. His leisurely appearance made Yin Wei tremble with anger. At this moment, the middle-aged man looked up and looked at Yin Wei. I am a Qi refining stage cultivator, although I look middle-aged, I have had the opportunity to obtain a heaven and earth spirit fruit, similar to the youth retaining pill. In fact, I am already old enough. I have seen more storms than you, and the situation is stronger than others. Just surrender, bring your daughter Yin Tingting here quickly. There's no time left, since you already understand that there's no benefit in tearing our faces, and you know that the 100 Flowers sect will soon send cultivators to take over Cottonwood City, only to determine the final candidate. Then you should understand that our lord is also very anxious. If we settle the marriage with you early, our lord will be at ease. It's just marrying a concubine, there's no need for a grand banquet. Hurry up and bring out your daughter Yin Tingting, so I can take her away directly. Remember, the lives of the Yin family, the life of your daughter, all depend on your decision. Immortal, the middle-aged man in front of her is not just any martial Dao Grandmaster, but a true cultivator with absolute strength. With a bang, accompanied by the middle-aged man's threat once again, in an instant, there seemed to be bursts of aura exploding from his body. Those were bursts of assimilated aura. The martial Dao Grandmaster is also capable of simulating attacks, but the energy generated by the martial Dao Grandmaster, including the spiritual energy and absorbed spiritual energy, is not comparable to that of cultivators. This shows that this guy is undoubtedly a cultivator. Streams of spiritual energy began to roar, emanating an absolute majesty. For Yin Wei, a martial Dao Grandmaster, this is a complete intimidation. Not to mention crushing, but it is vast and magnificent enough. When this spiritual energy roared, Yin Wei couldn't resist even if she wanted to. Her body trembled involuntarily, even the armor was trembling, making a rustling sound. If the armor were removed, it would be a magnificent sight. At this moment, Yin Hui's youthful appearance seemed weak and helpless. However, in her eyes, there was a stubbornness that would rather die than surrender. Standing there, despite the roaring wind created by the simulation, the gusts of spiritual energy, she raised her head with a determined gaze. The Old Man Duo Bao behind you dares to be so arrogant in front of me. Do you really think I, Yin Wei, have no backing? Who else could be Yin Hui's backing? Just the Qi refining stage cultivators from the Yin family. But they are completely insignificant in front of Old Man Duo Bao. Yin Wei is only a martial Dao Grandmaster. Unless there are other cultivators coming, this middle-aged man can completely intimidate her. These words made the middle-aged man even more arrogant, thinking that Yin Wei had no one to rely on, shaking his head. I don't believe that there is still someone who dares to be your backer, knowing that it will offend us, Old Man Duo Bao, and even the Black Fiend sect. The independent cultivators in Cottonwood City, would they do such a thing? Maybe the cultivators from the 100 Flowers sect. But I haven't crossed the line. I'm just here to propose a marriage for my master. How did it become a problem? The contact person from the 100 Flowers sect, they dare to make a move, I really don't believe it. Moreover, he. At this point, the middle-aged man pointed at Yin Wei. You and I are the only ones here, except for these servants. But think about it, if they know that you and I are here, they will definitely assume that we have some kind of agreement or contract. Then the 100 Flowers sect and the other cultivators will be even more convinced that there is a relationship between you and me. His trump card was revealed. It turns out that everything was calculated by this person. First, he used the identity of Old Man Duo Bao to oppress Yin Wei, alone in this meeting hall. Then he stated his conditions, and after Yin Wei chose to break ties, the threats to the Yin family and Yin Tingting's life followed. He also made it clear that he had the identity of a cultivator at the first level after a fortuitous encounter, suppressing Yin Wei on the spot. At the same time, he used his strategy, step by step, covering all aspects. Upon hearing these words, Yin Hui's face showed astonishment. Even if she had other methods, she had no way to resist at this moment and could only resign herself to her fate. At this moment, outside the city lord's mansion, Yin Hui's female guards began to report continuously. Young Master Bai from the Bai family, Bai Wu. Congratulations to City Lord Yin Hui's daughter, young City Lord Yin Tingting, for finding a husband. His brother-in-law, Lin Yi, specially sent a congratulatory gift, a family heirloom jade pendant from the Bai family, and a low-grade spirit stone. Young Master Wang from the Wang family, Wang Kui. Congratulations to City Lord Yin Hui's daughter, young City Lord Yin Tingting, for finding a husband. His younger brother, Lin Yi, specially sent a congratulatory gift, 100 precious longevity pills from the Wang family. Young Master Lu from the Lu family. Congratulations to City Lord Yin Hui's daughter, young City Lord Yin Tingting, for finding a husband. She has become a fairy couple with his brother, Lin Yi. He specially sent a congratulatory gift, 3 barrels of precious 100-year-old medicinal wine. Young Master Lang. Congratulations to City Lord Yin Hui's daughter, young City Lord Yin Tingting, for finding a husband. She has become a fairy couple with his brother-in-law, Lin Yi. He specially sent a congratulatory gift, a precious 300-year-old ginseng and 2 ounces of spiritual tea. One by one, the names of these second-generation members and their families were reported, clearly stating the theme, Yin Tingting has found a husband. The gifts they sent were extremely precious. Outside, countless people who had gathered around the city lord's mansion were already astonished, as if their mouths could fit an egg. Many people had gathered here to witness the big commotion that happened in the morning, with firecrackers and drums, and the so-called marriage proposal. They wanted to see if it would be successful. Whether the young city lord was going to marry someone else. If she was going to get married, there would be a great celebration, and even a small group of people with family members who were criminals were waiting for City Lord Yin to grant them amnesty and forgive their petty crimes. After all, with a joyous occasion, there would be such an amnesty. But they didn't expect that. They didn't wait for this event to happen, but received another news. Young City Lord Yin Tingting actually has a husband. Lin Yi. It's this name. Everyone knows that this Lin Yi, along with many of these arrogant and extravagant people they know, is completely familiar. Some even shouted that Lin Yi is actually his brother-in-law or something, which means Lin Yi definitely has a family, but he is still with Yin Tingting. Yin Tingting found someone who has a family, so is she going to be a wife or a concubine? Most importantly, these second-generation heirs don't know what's going on. Clearly, Lin Yi has married a woman from their family, but they seem to be happy that he also married Yin Tingting. And they even took out a hidden treasure as a gift. Such a sly move. But soon, everyone remembered that the descendants of these big families, who among them doesn't have multiple wives and concubines? After thinking about this in their minds, their gazes all turned towards the female guards who were reporting in the city lord's mansion. These female guards were reporting to the city about the middle-aged man from before. What kind of reaction would he have? I guess he might explode directly. Just like when they saw Yin Tingting going to the White Fairy Immortal Abode restaurant to solicit customers, their thoughts were the same. Many people, while feeling envy, jealousy, and hatred towards Lin Yi, were also waiting to see this spectacle. The middle-aged man who originally had the upper hand, including the servants brought by the middle-aged man in the conference hall, all heard this sentence. For a moment, their faces changed. Yin Wei was a little confused, while the middle-aged man's face instantly showed confusion and anger. Tang. Originally, his aura was already explosive, but now he was even more furious, his eyes cold and filled with killing intent as he stared at Yin Wei. Lin Yi, who is this young man? How dare he have an affair with Yin Tingting? He must die. He must die. As he finished speaking, he suddenly launched 2 attacks towards Yin Wei. Originally, these attacks seemed formless, but in the blink of an eye, they appeared as scattered sparks. Threads of fire shot out from both sides of Yin Hui's ears and directly hit the servants standing behind her. Bang! Bang! His servants' heads exploded completely, their bodies falling to the ground, blood splattering in many places in the conference hall. Some even sprayed onto Yin Wei. Killing a chicken to warn the monkeys. I will go and kill this Lin Yi now. He must be killed, and Yin Tingting will also be punished. How dare she secretly find her husband at this time? After speaking, he rushed out. What is Lin Yi doing? He had already heard the terrifying events outside and knew that someone might be a cultivator and had come to the city lord's mansion for a marriage proposal. Lin Yi has now reached the 3rd level of the qi refining stage. Although it didn't make Lin Yi feel superior, he didn't feel rushed either. His mind quickly turned, and Lin Yi felt that a marriage proposal doesn't mean immediate marriage. He had enough time to develop himself. So Lin Yi didn't pay much attention to this matter and focused on cultivation instead. During his cultivation, Lin Yi discovered that Lu Ruyan's cultivation had also greatly improved. Before, Lu Ruyan was only at the early stage of the 3rd level of the qi refining stage, just like himself. But now, Lu Ruyan seemed to have reached the peak of the 3rd level of the qi refining stage. She had become slightly stronger than him. With Lu Ruyan's increased strength, her previously intoxicated eyes opened. Her eyes stared fixedly at Lin Yi. I'm going to kill you. Kill you. Lu Ruyan's aura surged. With a bang, her aura enveloped Lin Yi. Both of them flew up at the same time, heading towards the window. Lin Yi was stunned. Madam, we don't have anything at all. Suddenly, Lin Yi thought of the clothes in his storage bag. With a burst of energy, he transformed into 2 giant palms and quickly grabbed his clothes. Lin Yi quickly put them on himself, then he grabbed another robe and wrapped it around the enraged Lu Ruyan. In the midst of her anger, Lu Ruyan felt a lot of her inner rage dissipate when she saw Lin Yi grab the clothes and cover herself. This is attention to detail. As long as you care about a woman's details, it will create a small sense of touch. Lin Yi's grasp was just right. In the next moment, the two turned into a mass of light and broke through the window, appearing on the street directly opposite the White Fairy Immortal Abode. At that moment, Lin Yi's energy suddenly exploded. With a bang, the two who were originally flying straight towards the street were suddenly thrown back to another window due to the backlash of this energy. Bang! They shattered the window directly. The two appeared in the hall where a crowd of people who had already walked a part of the way but were still dissatisfied with Lu Ruyan, the top courtesan, were located. After landing, Lu Ruyan emitted waves of water blue light, completely covering herself. They quickly put on their clothes haphazardly. Lin Yi didn't have so many formalities, so of course he dressed faster than her. After they were both dressed, Lin Yi looked at Lu Ruyan, and then Lu Ruyan clenched her teeth and her energy exploded. However, Lin Yi found that although Lu Ruyan's strength had increased slightly due to their dual cultivation technique, the drugs he had refined still had some effect. Lu Ruyan's energy was not very stable. In terms of true strength, they should be evenly matched. But regardless of whether Lu Ruyan was willing or not, her name was already recorded in the genealogy of descendants. And his divine body had already taken effect, so it wouldn't be long before Lu Ruyan would conceive his child. With this in mind, Lin Yi thought of Yin Tingting, who was still here. He wanted to turn around and tell Yin Tingting to leave first. As Lin Yi was thinking about this, Lu Ruyan's face changed, and she already slapped her palm towards him. The water blue light formed a large water sword, releasing a deep blue killing intent. If you want to kill me, then go ahead. Consider it my atonement. Lin Yi felt that since they were not evenly matched, he would take a gamble. Let's have a scene where the sword is only inches away from my throat. Lu Ruyan clenched her teeth. She really wanted to strike with the water sword, but at this moment, Lin Yi continued speaking. However, like smoke, one should not forget the person who dug the well when drinking water. Your cultivation has been able to improve, and you should thank me for that. We are already husband and wife, and I have helped you so much. Yet, you only think about killing me. In a way, you are repaying kindness with enmity. I'm repaying kindness with enmity. Your mother. Lu Ruyan spat out a curse word. As the water blue light completely disappeared from her body, she and Lin Yi were completely exposed in front of everyone. The guests of the White Fairy Immortal Abode who were chatting and talking all stared wide-eyed. Lu Ruyan hurriedly dressed, and the marks on her body revealed some things. Moreover, the conversation between the two of them seemed like a riddle. But once it was figured out, one would know what they were talking about. You fool, you really are a fool. How dare you lay hands on the courtesan I've been yearning for? Wait, isn't this guy the young man Yin Ting Ting, the junior city lord, brought earlier? How did he end up with the courtesan? This. He harmed the young city lord Yin Ting Ting, and now he dares to defile the courtesan, who is a goddess in my heart. Plop, plop, plop. Some people were so angry that they vomited blood and fell to the ground. Too many people were trembling with anger, pointing at Lin Yi, their eyes filled with raging fury and unbearable heartache. If this young man had only captured the young city lord's heart, it would have been fine, but he also had dealings with the courtesan. Now, it seemed like he had bullied the courtesan. Wasn't this just making them want to die? Just the thought of the once pure as ice and jade courtesan no longer being pure made countless people feel a surge of anger in their hearts. If they hadn't sensed the faint light on Lin Yi's body just now, proving that he was at least a martial Dao expert, someone would have probably rushed up already. I refuse to accept it. Insulting my goddess courtesan, die. A burly man, with a bang, smashed the table in front of him into pieces with a punch and rushed forward. The smooth and flowing movements of this man made some people couldn't help but feel delighted. Yes, let Brother Niu charge forward. Brother Niu is a top-notch martial Dao expert at the first layer of the acquired realm. Beat this young man to a pulp, Brother Niu, go for it. Someone cheered for this middle-aged man. It turned out that this middle-aged man was a well-known martial Dao expert, known as Brother Niu, with unparalleled brute strength. However, just as he rushed out and people finished cheering for him, with a bang, before Brother Niu could reach Lin Yi had already kicked him away. No matter how many small fries like him came, Lin Yi could kill or cripple as many as he wanted. This scene made people tremble with fear. They realized that their arrogant words earlier, berating Lu Ruyan for humiliating this young man, were actually wrong. This young man was also a strong cultivator. He directly kicked Brother Niu away, and now Brother Niu was lying on the ground, continuously spitting blood. It was estimated that he might not survive. More importantly, this young man had probably been fighting with Lu Ruyan before. Regretting the past, some people quickly shut their mouths and regretted inwardly. And now, the fact that Lu Ruyan has a simulated water sword indicates that not only is this young man powerful, but also Lu Ruyan, who they always thought was only skilled in poetry and music, a courtesan in the brothel, is also a strong individual. At the very least, she is a martial Dao grandmaster. The entire scene fell silent. At this moment, Lin Yi's face actually showed a hint of joy. Lin Yi heard the words of those around him. Lin Yi was prepared to teach them a lesson. The reason for the joy on his face was because Lin Yi discovered that the water sword that Lu Ruyan had just simulated did not strike towards him, but instead condensed around his body, suspended in midair, motionless. It can be seen that Lu Ruyan clenched her silver teeth, furrowed her brows, but her face had a touch of blush. Ever since Lin Yi mentioned helping her improve her cultivation, it has been like this. Lin Yi felt that he had a way. It seems that his lie about the divine body helping with cultivation was actually quite effective. Lin Yi coughed a few times. Moreover, in order to apologize to the fairy, I am already prepared to sacrifice myself and contribute to the greater good. As long as the fairy needs to improve her cultivation, I will come, and I have also prepared a generous gift, how about that? In the end, Lu Ruyan still released the water sword. But Lin Yi did not dodge. He saw the desire in Lu Ruyan's eyes. Cultivation is not easy, so cherish it as you go. Even the lower-level cultivators, even those from the major sects and families, all want to improve their cultivation faster. Although Lu Ruyan is only at the 3rd level of the qi refining stage, she definitely wants to improve her cultivation faster as well. Lin Yi happened to grasp her weakness in wanting to improve her cultivation. Sure enough, Lin Yi made the right bet. The water sword from Lu Ruyan missed its target, brushing past Lin Yi's ear and hitting the door frame behind him, causing it to shatter into several pieces with a loud bang. Lu Ruyan did it intentionally. With an angry snort, Lu Ruyan said coldly, "You better remember your words, help me improve my cultivation, and prepare a generous gift, otherwise I will definitely kill you." Her voice was as sharp as a knife. Soon, her expression became extremely cold, with only a mysterious blush on her cheeks. Next, Lu Ruyan's gaze swept around. In the next moment, Lu Ruyan knew that she could no longer be a courtesan. Originally, she was a courtesan in Cottonwood City, but now she was completely exposed in front of everyone. Some people have already looked at her with expressions of fear and dread, rather than the previous infatuation and admiration. She sighed inwardly, knowing that this time it was not going well. Soon, she looked at Lin Yi, and for some reason, Lu Ruyan now felt that her mind was somewhat uncontrollable, and her aversion to Lin Yi was decreasing. Because the temptation of cultivation advancement was too great. Upon careful consideration, she decided to expose herself. It would be a good opportunity to inform her master, and she would no longer serve as a courtesan here. The sky is high and the birds fly freely, the sea is wide and fish leap. As long as one's strength is strong, everything is readily available. Perhaps by not being a courtesan anymore, she could become the true controller of Cottonwood City, an immortal cultivator. Since things had already come to this point with Lin Yi, she might as well control Yin Tingting through him. If that didn't work, she could try to persuade Yin Tingting and establish a good relationship with her, and then with Lady Yin Wei, the city lord. The plan hadn't changed, but she had sacrificed her own body. When she looked at Lin Yi again, she realized that he was actually quite handsome. Moreover, Lin Yi was also an immortal cultivator. Just now, cultivation was very enjoyable, but the thought of Lin Yi having many wives while she only had him made Lu Ruyan even more resentful. "Ting Ting, where are you?" At this moment, an anxious voice came from outside White Fairy Immortal Abode. It was a female guard wearing armor. Her face was covered in sweat as she rode a fast horse, causing a commotion on the street. Some people had unpleasant expressions, but most ordinary people just cursed a few words under their breath and didn't dare to say much. The guard shouted loudly as she arrived at the entrance of White Fairy Immortal Abode. The guard was middle-aged, around 50 or 60 years old, with a sturdy build. The horse she rode was also well-fed and strong. After arriving at White Fairy Immortal Abode, she shouted at the top of her lungs. It turned out that not long ago, when the middle-aged man revealed his identity as an immortal cultivator, threatening to kill Lin Yi and capture Yin Tingting, Yin Wei immediately sent someone to find Yin Tingting. Now, on the grounds of the city lord's mansion, those family members who had previously tried to flatter Lin Yi and give him gifts were all tied up and in a miserable state. The middle-aged qi refining stage cultivator was interrogating them with torture, watching as they could no longer hold on. Tired from dealing with them, the middle-aged man was directing the servants to slap Bai Wu, Wang Kui, and others, continuing to ask where Lin Yi was. Bai Wu, Wang Kui, and the others truly didn't know where Lin Yi lived. Only Yin Wei had figured it out. Yin Tingting must be at White Fairy Immortal Abode. Whenever Yin Tingting had a falling out with herself, she would run to White Fairy Immortal Abode. That's why they sent people to find Yin Tingting. Before Yin Tingting met Lin Yi, she already had a foundation in martial Dao in the embryonic form of her Dantian. Although she didn't have a spirit root, she had martial Dao cultivation, albeit at the level of a third-rate expert at the third layer of the acquired stage. And now, when Yin Tingting is sober, she feels that the power in her body is constantly growing. She is extremely certain that Lin Yi did not deceive her. Any resentment she had towards Lin Yi completely disappears, leaving not a trace. Overjoyed, when she realizes that Lin Yi is no longer there, Yin Tingting closes her eyes and starts cultivating on the bed. Soon, Yin Tingting feels that the power in her body has increased by at least 3 times compared to before. This indicates that her martial Dao cultivation has become stable. Excited, she really wants to find Lin Yi and cultivate together again. But thinking that Lin Yi has already left, Yin Tingting tidies up her clothes. Yin Tingting prepares to go downstairs to see if Lin Yi is hungry and go downstairs to eat and drink. Suddenly, she hears someone calling her outside. She is on the top floor of the 5th floor in the lover's room, so she opens the window and sees Mei Yi at a glance. Looking at Mei Yi's anxious appearance, with sweat all over her face, Yin Tingting is slightly surprised. Why is Mei Yi so anxious to find her? There is a hint of shyness on her face because she thinks of those second-generation members of the family who were arranged by Lin Yi to bring back Lei Ming's body. At the same time, he said that he would also bring some gifts to her mother and help Lin Yi speak on her behalf. Could it be that her mother is unwilling? Lin Yi can help her improve her cultivation and has this special physique, so Yin Tingting naturally completely approves of Lin Yi. After the anxious shyness, there is a sense of worry. She is afraid that her mother does not approve of Lin Yi, so she asked Mei Yi to come and find her. Lin Yi, where are you? Yin Tingting asks. In the lobby of the 1st floor of White Fairy Immortal Abode, Lin Yi and Lu Ruyan meet eyes. Finally, Lu Ruyan's gaze looks elsewhere, which makes Lin Yi feel happy in his heart. Every wife deserves to be cherished because every wife is the mother of his child. If Lu Ruyan insists on falling out with him, Lin Yi feels a little bit frustrated. Fortunately, it seems that the situation is developing in a good direction now. Suddenly, Lin Yi hears Yin Tingting calling him, and he also hears someone calling Yin Tingting just now, which makes his expression change slightly. He smiles at Lu Ruyan. I'll go see Tingting first. After speaking, Lin Yi turns around and prepares to leave the lobby and go to the street outside White Fairy Immortal Abode. After thinking for a moment, Lin Yi turns back and looks at those guys who were just scolding him and were scared. I'll give you a little punishment. How dare you be dissatisfied with me and talk nonsense? Layers of sword hairs appear on Lin Yi's body, and then he shakes his hand. Countless small sword lights penetrate the arms and legs of many people in an instant, causing them to let out piercing screams. After doing all this, Lin Yi feels indifferent. On the street, after Lin Yi stands still, Yin Tingting has already displayed her moves on the 5th floor and, with the increased power and agility of her body, arrives by Lin Yi's side. When Mei Yi sees the two of them, her eyes turn red. Miss, you two, leave quickly, something happened. With these words, Lin Yi and Yin Tingting look at each other in confusion. Yin Tingting anxiously asks, Mei Yi, what's going on? Don't worry, take your time and explain. The female guard looks at Yin Tingting and says, there's no time, really no time, especially for you. The female guard turns her head and looks at Lin Yi. I am a female guard under City Lord Yin Hui's command. My name is Ma Dongmai. Lin Yi is a little confused. Ma what Mei? Ma Dongmai is stunned. I am called Ma Dongmai. Lin Yi nods. Looking at Lin Yi's strange expression, Ma Dongmai is a little confused, but soon, in a few words, she explains everything. Lin Yi realizes that this is his life and death crisis. He didn't expect things to turn out like this. But when he hears Ma Dongmai say that the middle-aged man is only at the 1st layer of the qi refining stage, Lin Yi can't help but laugh. The middle-aged man is indeed a small fry that he can easily handle. This is just what I wanted. My style is to survive when the enemy is strong. What do I have to worry about? Even if it's old man Duo Bao at the 4th layer of the qi refining stage, I have confidence in beating him so badly that he won't even recognize himself. Full of courage, Lin Yi's killing intent erupts. Why are you running? Stop running. Upon hearing this, Ma Dongmai's eyes flashed with a hint of dissatisfaction. She felt that Mrs. Judgment in selecting people was really poor. How could this young man be like this? Considering his age, how much cultivation could he have? Moreover, the person who came to propose marriage for Taoist endless treasure is at the qi refining stage. To provoke such a person, isn't that simply seeking death? In her anxiety, Ma Dongmai immediately said, I won't talk about Mrs. Judgment in selecting people for now. Since Miss has chosen you, you should protect her, take care of her, and consider her well-being. Now you and Miss should leave quickly, go to a place where no one can find you. This was specially instructed by Lord Yin Cheng. Why are you still insisting on staying here? Are you looking for death? Saying this, Ma Dongmai looked at Yin Tingting and said, Miss, you should persuade him. To Ma Dongmai's surprise, Yin Tingting's expression did not change at all. Before, Yin Tingting was full of anxiety and concern for herself, but now Yin Tingting's face completely relaxed. In Ma Dongmai's astonishment, Yin Tingting said to her, Aunt May, you really don't need to worry. If that middle-aged man, Taoist endless treasures lackey, is only at the qi refining stage, there's really no need to be afraid. What? Not afraid of the qi refining stage? That's a cultivator. How many cultivators are there in the entire Cottonwood City? And most of them are only at the qi refining stage. Moreover, that middle-aged man has old man Duo Bao behind him. Before she could finish her words, Ma Dongmai noticed that Lin Yi had actually tightened his grip on Yin Tingting's hand, and then the two of them started running towards the back. For a moment, Ma Dongmai's disdain for Lin Yi grew even stronger. He had just said that there was nothing to be afraid of, and now he was running away. This guy runs pretty fast. But no matter what, her mission was completed. Ma Dongmai was about to drive the horse forward when she suddenly froze. These two people are running in the wrong direction. They're not heading towards Chengdu Prefecture. Come back to me. You're running in the wrong direction. Ma Dongmai turned around and started shouting frantically. But to her astonishment, Lin Yi had already quickly moved forward with Yin Tingting, and even if she tried to catch up on horseback, she couldn't. This, Ma Dongmai's face showed fear, but quickly turned into boundless joy. Clearly, this young man was not an ordinary person. Judging from his speed, he was almost as fast as Lord Yin Cheng's teleportation, or maybe even faster. A thought erupted in Ma Dongmai's mind. At this moment, Ma Dongmai saw a beautiful woman with slightly disheveled clothes walking out of the White Fairy Immortal Abode. There was a cold smile on her face, and when she stared at Ma Dongmai, there was a hint of disgust. Ma Dongmai recognized her. Wasn't this Lu Ruyan, the famous courtesan of the White Fairy Immortal Abode? But why did Lu Ruyan look at her with such eyes? Lu Ruyan extended her hand and pointed towards the White Fairy Immortal Abode. Don't worry about those two. What you should be worried about is that qi refining stage cultivator. Following Lu Ruyan's finger, Ma Dongmai looked inside the house and was completely stunned. Inside, there were countless people screaming in agony. Most of them were covered in blood. Among them, one of them was none other than Niu Urge, the martial artist at the first heavenly layer that Ma Dongmai knew. Could it be? Ma Dongmai asked instinctively. Lu Ruyan nodded. Yes, just as you thought, it was all done by Lin Yi. After speaking, Lu Ruyan's face turned cold, and her figure floated, quickly flying towards the 5th floor of the attic. She was going to change her clothes and prepare. Ma Dongmai's mind was in chaos. What was happening in this world? A courtesan turned out to be a master, and she seemed to possess a faint spiritual aura. She was a cultivator. And that young man Lin Yi, whom Miss liked, turned out to be so powerful. In the end, Ma Dongmai, who was deeply shocked, couldn't help but pray, hoping that Lin Yi would kill that middle-aged man and eliminate all the troubles of the city lord and miss. She inexplicably gained confidence. Female guard Ma Dongmai finally understood why those spoiled children, like White Marshal King Kui, dared to represent their families and personally come to the Lord's mansion, which they usually avoided like mice seeing a cat, to offer their congratulations. Before, Ma Dongmai thought it was because Lin Yi was also a spoiled child and had a close relationship with them, so they acted this way. But now it seems that it's not the case. It should be because Lin Yi himself is too strong, forcing these guys to do so. After realizing this, Ma Dongmai whipped her horse even harder. However, even though she chased after them for a long time, she didn't catch up to Lin Yi and Yin Tingting. Lin Yi was leading Yin Tingting, rushing towards the Lord's mansion at a fast pace. They moved swiftly. Yin Tingting kept pointing in the direction, while Lin Yi focused on moving forward. What made Yin Tingting feel secure was that Lin Yi seemed completely relaxed. He didn't show any signs of being on guard. Yin Tingting had never asked about Lin Yi's cultivation level. She only knew that Lin Yi was a cultivator, at least at the qi refining stage. White Fairy Immortal abode was not far from the Lord's mansion, and they would arrive soon. Impressed by Lin Yi's speed, Yin Tingting subconsciously asked, "Husband, what is your cultivation level?" She wanted to boost her confidence. The stronger Lin Yi was, the easier it would be to deal with a qi refining stage cultivator like her. But when Yin Tingting looked at Lin Yi, he smirked and said, "Guess." Annoying. Yin Tingting pouted at Lin Yi. The more Lin Yi didn't say, the more confident Yin Tingting felt, seeing how relaxed he was. This time, she felt more secure. At the same time, she felt a little happy for some reason. Fortunately, the troublemakers had come, which could stimulate Lin Yi and make him value her more, and even gain her mother's approval. Lin Yi had no intention of telling those around him his true cultivation level. He had to keep a trump card even from his own wife. It would be best to blur the truth. In fact, Lin Yi even blamed the Law Treasure descendant for not giving him a technique to conceal his aura earlier. At the entrance of the Lord's mansion, White Marshal King Kui and others felt extremely unlucky. Because of Lin Yi, they came to the Lord's mansion to express their congratulations to Lord Yin Wei, but unexpectedly encountered a disaster. Now they were all injured, not a single good spot on their bodies, even their handsome faces were somewhat ruined. How could they go out and mix in the future? What made them even more fearful was the middle-aged man with a pale face and extreme anger. His body emitted a faint aura of spiritual power, clearly indicating that he was a cultivator. Now they were all saying they wanted to kill Lin Yi. They realized what had happened through this middle-aged man's words. Everyone felt that their luck was too bad. But they knew that if they spoke up now, Lin Yi might die. If they didn't speak up, Lin Yi might still die. Either way, Lin Yi had a high chance of dying, so it was better not to say anything. In fact, some people had already thought that since Lin Yi didn't come to the Lord's mansion, he must have taken Yin Tingting to a room in one of the largest restaurants in Cottonwood City, the Tai Shang Xianju. Some of the spoiled children had already thought of this. But as the saying goes, they decided not to say anything and wait and see. However, the pain they were enduring was too intense. These guys had never experienced such pain before, having grown up in luxury. One by one, they couldn't help but howl in pain. It reminded them of the most painful time when they practiced martial Tao. The middle-aged man's eyes revealed a sinister look. When he saw the servants whipping and beating these people, and yet they still couldn't say where Lin Yi was, his patience ran out. Yin Wei had been standing behind everyone, his eyes filled with deep concern. He was afraid that these people would know where Lin Yi and Yin Tingting were. Seeing that they didn't say anything, Yin Wei relaxed a bit. Whether these people really didn't know or were pretending not to know, at least they seemed more pleasing to his eyes than before. As time passed, when the middle-aged man's patience was exhausted, he suddenly appeared next to Wang Kui and the others with a bang. Then, he pointed directly at Wang Kui and the others with his finger. "Since you won't say, then die." Yin Wei couldn't help but be shocked. Yin Wei quickly ran forward and said, "Don't forget your plan. You said before that old man Duo Bao wants something. These people are all well-known descendants of major families in Cottonwood City. Are you really going to kill them?" After Yin Wei said this, he looked at Wang Kui, Bai Wu, and the others. Suddenly, Bai Wu and the others understood that Yin Wei was speaking for them. So this guy was also planning something for Cottonwood City. But what exactly was he planning for Cottonwood City? They were not aware of how cultivators divided territories, so they were a bit confused. But they were happy because they thought that since cultivators divided territories, this guy wouldn't kill them. Dang dang dang. Suddenly, at this moment, someone rushed out from a distance. That was an old man dressed in traditional Chinese clothing. Behind him were several other elderly people of similar age, walking with vigor and a robust physique. As they approached, the old man at the front turned to Bai Wu and the others and asked, "You all have returned, but why haven't my grandson Ma Zhang and the others returned?" At this moment, the old man turned his head and looked at the middle-aged man. "May I ask what this gentleman's name is?" Before the words were finished, there was a slap on the old man's face. "Don't call me gentleman, call me immortal. I, Lu Xuanyuan, am a cultivator, a practitioner of the Tao." Boom. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, everyone around was stunned. Bai Wu and the others deduced from the aura of spiritual power that the middle-aged man should be a cultivator, but the others did not know. With a slap on Ma Hu's face, Ma Hu, who was originally about to get angry, dared not do so anymore. When he saw the murderous intent in the middle-aged man's eyes, Ma Hu quickly clarified his position. He glanced at Yin Wei, then swept his gaze over Bai Wu and the others, and respectfully spoke to Lu Xuanyuan. "Immortal, the reason I asked about the whereabouts of my grandson Ma Zhang is because Ma Zhang was originally with this group of people, but they have returned while Ma Zhang has not. I want to find out where my grandson is and have him personally tell the immortal where Lin Yi is." After saying this, Bai Wu, Wang Kui, and the others gritted their teeth. Ma Hu and Ma Zhang were really the same kind of people at critical moments, both scum with extremely poor character. No wonder they dared to ask them in front of this middle-aged man. So that was their plan. They glared at Ma Hu one by one. Soon, they burst into laughter. "You want to find your grandson, he, you will never find him, and this time you are definitely in for a miserable time, you're doomed. Your grandson, he, you've chosen the wrong side. Just wait. What happened to my grandson? Tell me quickly." Ma Hu suddenly stepped forward, disregarding everything, and came directly to Bai Wu and the others, wanting to get a clear answer. Lin Yi asked Yin Tingting to wait a little longer before going over, and he rushed out first. Yin Tingting was puzzled and asked, "Husband, why should I go later?" Lin Yi laughed, "Darling, you go later so that I can leave a good impression on my mother-in-law alone. Let me show off a bit." Although she didn't understand what "show off" meant, Yin Tingting guessed that it meant to make an appearance. Nodding, Yin Tingting also had the same plan, to let her husband shine and prove herself. In this way, she would also have face. She would go over later. So, Lin Yi mingled with the crowd alone, listening to Ma Hu's tone and seeing the scars on Bai Wu and the others' faces, their bodies bound. Lin Yi, who was not planning to keep a low profile, stared at his mother-in-law Yin Wei, his expression freezing. He was ready to speak. There was nothing to hide, it was time to take action. "I can't wait to show off in front of my mother-in-law." Yin Wei, wearing armor, was the most attractive person in Lin Yi's eyes. As for the middle-aged man Lu Xuanyuan and the old man Ma Hu, Lin Yi didn't even look at them. Just standing in the crowd, Lin Yi felt that there was a light on Yin Hui's body, shooting straight into his eyes. Among his wives, only Qin Yao had such a level of beauty. But Qin Yao's face belonged to a foxy woman. Unlike Yin Wei, her face was almost as youthful as his precious Tingting, but she had a mature charm without the need for makeup, naturally exuding a sense of desire. It was a perfect combination of innocence and allure. Under the armor, her figure was radiant. Definitely explosive. There is a phrase in the future that can clearly describe it, that is, an angel and a devil. But at the same time, Lin Yi also had some impatience because he could feel that Yin Hui's descendants' comprehensive scores would definitely exceed 80 points without a doubt. This was a kind of intuition. In that case, if he wanted Yin Wei to marry him as well, he would have to go through a lot of trouble. Mother-in-law, Tingting, sigh, forget it, let's first impress Lu Xuanyuan and Ma Hu, and then deal with them. Leave a good impression on Yin Wei. Thinking about how he and Yin Wei would develop a complicated relationship, Lin Yi was very angry. Your grandson Ma Zhang, the idiot who doesn't know any better, has already been killed by me. Lin Yi spoke up. His gaze moved away from Yin Wei. The scene was in an uproar. Besides Ma Zhang, there are other people, whose names I don't know. They should be the descendants of these old men behind you. I have killed them all, not one left. Bold, who is it? Who is it? Ma Hu and the others quickly turned their heads, their eyes burning as they stared at Lin Yi. The people around Lin Yi, who dared to be near him, all felt that the person next to him was crazy and quickly moved away from Lin Yi. Only Lin Yi stood there alone. Lin Yi took steps forward. A smile on his face. Originally, I asked by Marshal King Kui and the others, who were relatives of Ma Zhang, to pass on a message to their elders. Although I killed them, I wouldn't continue to trouble their families. The premise is that their family members need to apologize, admit their mistakes, and compensate me. If the compensation is satisfactory, then it's fine. But now, it seems that you elders don't want to apologize or admit your mistakes and compensate. Quote. Mahu and the others were speechless with anger. They trembled all over, waves of anger welling up from the depths of their hearts. Just like the second generation had speculated before, Mahu showed great love to his grandson, Mazong. Upon careful consideration, it was clear that a beloved grandson like this had first used countless resources to enable them to achieve the martial Tao. At the same time, this grandson or younger generation also had the opportunity to benefit the entire family. Being able to cultivate the martial Tao was also a kind of potential. Just like becoming an immortal cultivator, one must have spirit root, it was the same requirement. Without a strong physique, success was impossible. Now that the family's hope was gone and their favored descendant had been killed, how could they not be angry? What made Mahu and the others even more unbearable was that this young man, who should be Lin Yi, not only killed Mazong and the others but also demanded that they apologize and make amends. Where could they reason with him? In the midst of anger, someone couldn't bear it and directly spewed out a mouthful of blood, trembling all over, their face pale. My poor grandson, the only descendant of our Lei family, dead, 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 you little beast, I will make you die. The figure of the old man spurted blood, swaying, and rushed forward. Mahu's face turned ashen, his eyes fixed on Lin Yi. Without saying a word, he stepped on the ground and his figure soared into the sky. Today, I will use your blood to mourn my grandson, Mazong. I will kill you and avenge my grandson. In the midst of sorrow and rage, he directly launched a killing blow. Their eyes also turned towards the side at this moment. They had clearly heard just now that Lin Yi was with by Marshal King Kui and the others. Moreover, Lin Yi had already confirmed to be Yin Tingting's lover. In this way, this immortal cultivator Lu Jiwan was on their side, and he also wanted to capture Lin Yi. If they helped kill Lin Yi, wouldn't they also gain certain benefits? Flattering Lu Jiwan. When the corner of Mahu's eye caught Lu Jiwan, he suddenly spoke up, "Immortal, let me take care of this for you, so as not to dirty your hands. Let me tear this kid apart. He is indeed Lin Yi." Bang! Mahu directly launched an attack. Dazzling lightning flashed around him. However, the lightning produced by a martial Tao grandmaster was far from as brilliant as the lightning produced by an immortal cultivator. But it still made people feel amazed and spectacular. Mahu's research on the way of thunder had already reached such a deep level, but unfortunately, he didn't have spirit root. Otherwise, Mahu would definitely have achieved something. Mahu's words made many of the accompanying elders suddenly realize. Let us take action to eliminate this little beast, so as not to dirty the immortal's hands. Immortal, I'm here, let me do it for you. 5 figures rushed towards Lin Yi one after another. Yin Hui's face turned pale, and her figure suddenly rushed out. In an instant, Lu Jiwan's mouth curled into a cold smile, his gaze like a venomous snake fixed on Yin Wei. I've been on guard against you, Lord Yin. Since they have grievances, let them solve it themselves. A huge spiritual pressure enveloped Yin Wei, making it impossible for her to break free. At this moment, Lu Jiwan suddenly wore a wicked smile on his face. Next moment, Lu Jiwan walked towards Yin Wei. Now that things have come to this point, Lord Yin Wei, our relationship needs to move forward according to the plan I had in mind earlier. Originally, this relationship should have been left to my master, Old Man Duo Bao, but now I'll accept it. Let's get closer, let the people of Cottonwood City have a good look and spread the news. Yin Hui's face turned even paler, her body trembling, her eyes widened in anger. On that youthful face, an expression of disbelief appeared. Lu Jiwan took advantage of the situation and further threatened her. Mahu and the others had already launched their attacks and were convinced that Lin Yi couldn't escape this time. When they saw Yin Wei being blocked by Lu Jiwan, they felt that the situation was a success. This Lin Yi was like meat on a chopping board, they could kill him however they wanted. As many people watched from the sidelines, they couldn't help but sigh. Although they had envied and resented Lin Yi for being able to be with Yin Tingting before, now they were all filled with regret. This was a desperate situation. For Lin Yi, this was a desperate situation. This young man was a bit foolish, actually running over at this time, it was simply throwing himself into a trap. Some people lamented that their expressions were not very pleasant. Below the strong martial Tao experts, ordinary people are like ants. Below the cultivators, both the strong martial Tao experts and ordinary people are like ants. Originally, in the mundane world, the powerful could oppress others, and now there are even more of these strong experts. How can ordinary people not feel hopeless? Mahu laughed heartily. How about it? Lin Yi, you fool, can't move now, can you? I have already locked onto you with my simulated attack. Since you've thrown yourself into the net, seeking death, I will fulfill your wish. Thunderbolt Fist. Mahu threw a punch towards Lin Yi. The simulated attack from earlier was flickering with scattered lightning, enveloping Lin Yi. He was certain that Lin Yi couldn't move. People behind him also shouted out their own techniques, all of which sounded extremely domineering. But when they threw their punches and kicks, they saw a huge fist already extending out from the energy radiating from their simulated attacks. And in the next moment, the sky full of lightning completely dissipated. The one who threw the punch was, of course, Lin Yi. In the midst of the dissipating lightning, Lin Yi shook his head. You trash, how dare you attack me first and still want to show loyalty? Lady Yu, I'm here. Lu Jiwan, right, a cultivator. Stop, or I'll twist off your head and use it as a chamber pot. Everyone around was dumbfounded. No one expected that not only was this young man possibly not dead, but he also seemed to have real skills under his arrogant appearance. Those were attacks simulated by a martial Dao Grandmaster, with lightning filling the sky, all launched by Mahu and the others. But so what? They had all dissipated now. Immediately after, they saw the young man raise his huge fist. Although his movements were very slow, Mahu and the others seemed unable to react, as if they didn't have time to dodge. Their bodies trembled. Ah, the power of spiritual energy, the power of spiritual energy. Their trembling bodies, under the immense power of spiritual energy, couldn't make any movements. That's why, in the eyes of the people around them, it seemed as if they had no reaction at all. Boom! Even after a short while, some of them couldn't withstand the enveloping spiritual energy and fell to the ground. Lin Yi's fist struck. Boom boom boom. One punch after another, the fist began to accelerate, forming afterimages that the ordinary people couldn't keep up with. Looking again, except for the two people lying on the ground, Mahu and the others who were trembling, and the people standing there, their heads had been completely shattered, becoming headless corpses. Blood surged. Lin Yi walked towards the two old men lying on the ground. Don't think that killing you will be the end. I have my principles, which are to kill you and make your family compensate for their sins. But now the compensation has escalated, and everyone in your family needs to make a greater contribution and accept punishment. As for you two, you die. Don't, we'll compensate. Yes, our family has spirit stones. Immortal, you definitely need spirit stones. In order to save their lives, these two old men wanted to offer temptations. But Lin Yi didn't care at all. One kick after another, under the shadow of his 2 feet, the heads of these two people were already kicked to pieces. Even their upper bodies were turned into a mist of blood by the simulated energy. Completely dead, Lin Yi quickly turned around and headed straight for Lu Jiwan. After killing you, all the good things in your family will be mine, right? The cries for help from behind reached Lu Jiwan's ears. Lu Jiwan turned around in disbelief. Impossible, how could he possibly be a cultivator, one of us? Lu Jiwan was completely dumbfounded. His hands were less than half a meter away from Yin Wei. He was about to reach out his shameful hand towards her. Lin Yi became anxious. You've already reached out your filthy claws. Go to hell. Lin Yi originally didn't want to expose his identity as a cultivator with a spirit root, but he felt that it was better to reveal it now and completely change Yin Hui's perception of him. Afterwards, he would use his cultivation or other means to establish a karmic relationship with Yin Wei. And then everything would fall into place. Moreover, if he wanted to kill this middle-aged man, he had to expose his identity as a cultivator. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for him, a martial Dao Grandmaster, to kill a cultivator. Anyway, Lin Yi had already made contact with Lu Ruyan, the liaison of the 100 Flowers sect, so he had to reveal his identity as a cultivator next. So it didn't matter anymore. In the current situation, Lin Yi felt a surge of hot blood rushing to his head. He had always wanted to be the one in control, not someone else. He wasn't a pure warrior of love, not to mention being taken advantage of by others. He wouldn't let anyone take advantage of him. All of this was related to his path, whether it was martial Tao or cultivation. His woman, after being enjoyed, absolutely couldn't be touched by anyone else. Now when Lin Yi saw Yin Wei, she looked a bit pitiful and her eyes were stubborn. The alternating charm of grace and maturity made Lin Yi completely furious. Lu Jiwan must die. Hearing Lin Yi's words, Lu Jiwan showed a hint of fear, but quickly looked at Lin Yi with a sinister gaze. At your age, how can you compare to me, the first stage of qi refining, someone who has obtained immortal fate? Hee, let me show you my strength. Suddenly, flames burst forth from Lu Jiwan's body. In the next moment, a small yellow scroll appeared in Lu Jiwan's left hand. Upon closer inspection, the material of the yellow scroll was extremely complex, not the ordinary yellow paper commonly used in the mortal world. The paper was thick, and the patterns outlined on it were red, made with high-quality cinnabar. Moreover, within this cinnabar, there was a faint spiritual power that kept emanating. It was actually a talisman. When boundless flames appeared on Lu Jiwan's body, he instantly transformed into a fire person. Under the sunlight, Lu Jiwan sneered at Lin Yi. However, his arrogance didn't last more than 3 seconds. Just as many people marveled at the power of this immortal, which was difficult to deal with, Lu Jiwan himself became confident again and wanted to say something. But then, Lu Jiwan saw a scene that made his heart tremble. Lin Yi had already rushed over. Even before reaching him, layers of sword aura began to appear on Lin Yi's body. Although Lu Jiwan had little experience, he knew one thing. The person in front of him was not only a cultivator with a spirit root, a true genius, but most importantly, this young man understood the sword. Could it be that this guy had a connection with one of the 4 great sects, the Imperial Sword Sect? While thinking this in his heart, swish swish swish, strands of sword aura flickered with a brilliant sword light, directly piercing into Lu Jiwan's body. And then Lu Jiwan felt that a large part of the flames around his body had disappeared. Not good. Lu Jiwan looked at Lin Yi, his eyes filled with boundless fear. You're not just at the first stage of qi refining. You're stronger. Lu Jiwan shouted loudly, his heart filled with fear. Under the numbness of his scalp, Lu Jiwan just wanted to run away as quickly as possible. His words, like a thunderous roar, shook the scene. Everyone, including Yin Wei, who was just scared by Lu Jiwan's Lingwei and disgusted by his hand, felt incredulous in an instant. The bound by Martial King Kui and others over there were even more stunned. Before, although everyone had expected Lin Yi to be a martial Dao Grandmaster, the changes that happened on the scene were too fast. Many people thought that after Lin Yi killed martial Dao Grandmaster Mahu and others, he would quickly turn around and leave. After all, when facing cultivators like Lu Jiwan, it was the right path to run away quickly. But they didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, Lin Yi actually punched and exploded the brains of the veteran martial Dao Grandmasters like Mahu, and kicked and exploded their bodies. Now, his body was shimmering with sword feathers, ready to confront Lu Jiwan. He was truly a martial Dao genius. Now, Lu Jiwan's words, as well as the layers of dense spiritual power emanating from Lin Yi's body, were constantly flickering with aura, spreading to them. By Martial King Kui and others were completely frightened. With a "fu" sound, Wang Kui spat out a mouthful of blood, mixed with teeth. Then Wang Kui's eyes lit up. I've recognized Lin Yi as my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is not a martial Dao Grandmaster, but a true cultivator. I have an immortal brother-in-law. Listening to Wang Kui's words, the scene roared in unison, and the sound of gasping for breath was heard one after another. Lin Yi had already rushed to Lu Jiwan's side. Lu Jiwan quickly turned around and ran. He looked at Lin Yi, gritted his teeth with extreme anger. Before I die, I will make you suffer too. Unfortunately, a genius like you will fall here because of love. Your bright future in cultivation will be lost. Die for me. Watch my Thunderfire talisman. Lu Jiwan shouted loudly and quickly threw the talisman in his hand outward. Countless spiritual powers bloomed on the talisman. The power was revealed, and the spiritual energy surged. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. It felt like there was wind whistling around, forming a vortex. Upon closer inspection, it turned out that there were strands of spiritual energy in the wind, absorbed by the talisman. After absorbing the energy, the talisman suddenly became stronger. Then, a giant fire dragon, as thick as a person and several meters long, suddenly rushed out, ready to attack Lin Yi. Because Lu Jiwan had already resigned himself to death, when the fire dragon swept over, it not only targeted Lin Yi, but also directly released from his body. At the same time, he was self-destructing. In addition to this fire talisman, Lu Jiwan also used self-destruction. I will self-destruct, so that my family won't lose face. My family's master will definitely avenge me. Lin Yi, just you wait. Cottonwood City will be in ruins. No one will survive today. Seeing that the fire was about to engulf Yin Wei, who was closest to it, Yin Wei had already lost hope. The flames soared into the sky, full of Ling Wei, making Yin Hui's whole body feel weak. And her armor was already burning with flames. If she was only wearing ordinary clothes, she would probably have been burned to nothing by now. Even though Yin Wei had martial Dao strength, she couldn't organize any defensive attacks. The spiritual energy generated by the Ling Wei had formed a powerful force that made her completely unable to struggle. At this moment, Yin Wei saw her daughter's husband, Lin Yi, coming. On the face of the cultivator Lin Yi, there was an unbeatable confidence. What kind of trash do you think you are? Self-destruction and fire talismans, and you think you can win? Don't worry, mother-in-law, your son-in-law is here. After Lin Yi finished speaking, he arrived next to Yin Wei. Energy surged from his body, enveloping Yin Wei, and one hand held her waist. Mother-in-law, sorry, it's an emergency, I can't care about gender differences anymore. I have to hold you to prevent you from falling to the ground. Lin Yi felt that this Lu Jiwan really understood him. This enemy knew how to make a big move before dying. Wasn't this creating a good opportunity between himself and Yin Wei? The armor is somewhat scorching hot. Although for Lin Yi, the temperature generated by these fire dragons is just a drizzle. The energy in his body scattered and quickly blocked the heat. As if his body had turned into a fire-resistant cotton of the future. But Lin Yi can do it, Yin Wei cannot. Yin Hui's strength is simply too low. Faced with these attacks, Yin Wei is unable to resist. At this moment, Lin Yi quickly spoke, "No, if we don't take off the armor now, something bad might happen. It's too hot. The armor itself is made of metal and will completely burn you." Upon hearing Lin Yi's words, Yin Wei instinctively obeyed. When it comes to the techniques of these cultivators, she naturally chooses to listen to Lin Yi, a fellow cultivator. As a martial Dao expert, even though her family ancestor has spirit root and can cultivate, she has never been told about these things. In the midst of the shock, Lin Yi quickly stabilized his protective aura. What do we do? He has already self-destructed. Lin Yi, look, Lu Jiwan's body is starting to swell, his skin is bulging like a frog. It's over for you too, just leave me. Lu Jiwan's current state made Yin Wei feel that both she and Lin Yi were doomed. Upon hearing this, Lin Yi smiled, "It's nothing, he is not my match. Whether he self-destructs or not, he can't possibly be my match." Yin Wei nodded, a bitter expression on her face, and pushed Lin Yi away with both hands. She knew that Lin Yi definitely had a chance to escape. She could die, but Lin Yi couldn't. Let Lin Yi leave. Don't say silly things, really, don't worry about me, take care of Ting Ting. Lin Yi didn't retreat, but stood firm like a rooted tree. Under this push, Lin Yi didn't move. In his mind, the records of his descendants kept flipping. It just made Lin Yi slightly disappointed. The records of Yin Wei in the descendants, records showed, written behind her, potential wife and concubine candidate Yin Wei, comprehensive score of 88 points. Yin Hui's score was actually the same as Ting Ting's, 1 point lower than Lu Ruyan's. It didn't reach a score of over 90. Let's go, hurry up and leave. Yin Wei quickly retreated. At this time, Lin Yi also gritted his teeth. He had originally wanted to leave a good impression on Yin Wei, but it could only be like this now. The aura on his body continued to brew, and Lin Yi spoke. As I said before, this guy's self-destruction, it's nothing at all. After Lin Yi finished speaking, he directly stretched out a hand and suddenly stepped forward with a sword aura. At this moment, a virtual sword shape appeared in Lin Yi's hand. The sword shape was not too solid, and it consumed a great deal of Lin Yi's strength, but he quickly inserted the sword towards Lu Jiwan. So what if Lu Jiwan self-destructs again? Lin Yi's strength was there, 2 levels higher than Lu Jiwan. Moreover, Lin Yi's comprehension of swordsmanship, even a qi refining stage cultivator at the same level, could only be defeated and humiliated in the face of Lin Yi's sword. This sword was directly inserted into Lu Jiwan's body, and then the spiritual power exploded. Boom! Lu Jiwan directly exploded. There was no time for self-destruction. And so, Lin Yi directly interrupted the process, dying in bitterness. Thick resentment. Right before his death, Lu Jiwan revealed a strong disbelief. Lin Yi turned out to be a genius. A genius even more powerful than his true strength. You are at least at the third level of the qi refining stage. How is this possible? A cultivation genius. After saying that, Lu Jiwan's body exploded into flesh and blood. And that fire dragon had already let out a roar and quickly attacked Lin Yi. Bang, bang, bang. Energy continuously erupted from Lin Yi's body, surging with a tremendous aura, protecting Lin Yi completely. And it also directly pressed Yin Wei tightly. But only by doing so, could the two of them be closer and withstand everything. This fire dragon is truly formidable. Lin Yi discovered that the attacks produced by this talisman, despite their small scale, were actually very powerful. If it weren't for Lin Yi being 2 levels higher than Lu Jiwan, and only at the second level of the qi refining stage without a breakthrough due to Lady Lu Ruyan, he would probably have been hit by the fire dragon. In this way, Lin Yi also felt that he was consuming a lot of energy. The formed assimilation power turned into a shield, almost depleted at the last moment of resisting the fire dragon. Lin Yi took out low-grade spirit stones from his storage bag and continuously activated the withered tree reviving spring technique, absorbing the spiritual energy from the low-grade spirit stones to recharge. Yin Wei shouted loudly, and soon she felt that the layers of energy on Lin Yi were decreasing. And Lin Yi's face turned pale. You should just give up on me. Let me withstand the fire dragon. Yin Wei couldn't bear it. Lin Yi shook his head. I will never give up on you. Yin Wei cried. With a heroic and youthful face, with a touch of mature charm, tears covered it. Lin Yi's eyes turned, and at this moment, he coughed, forcefully reversing the energy of his cultivation technique, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Using a retreat as an advance, forcing himself to get injured. If he didn't get injured at this time, how could he enjoy the care after being injured? At the moment the fire dragon disappeared, there were originally many people at the scene, including Wang Kui, Bai Wu, and others, who all thought that this time Lin Yi was truly doomed. No one expected that Lu Jiwan could use self-destruction and a fire talisman to unleash such a powerful attack. This kind of immortal-like method, that several meters-long fire dragon, looked vivid and carried the majesty of the dragon race, which they hadn't expected. Pale-faced, they all believed that this time Lin Yi might really be doomed. But not long after, they saw layers of light enveloping Lin Yi. Lin Yi enveloped Yin Wei in his own aura, enduring the fire dragon's attack. After the flames dissipated, Lin Yi and Yin Wei were completely unharmed. Only Lin Yi had blood stains at the corners of his mouth. He was injured, but he didn't die after all. In fact, if you looked closely, you could see that Lin Yi was completely fine. It was only at this moment that many people remembered that when Lu Jiwan was about to self-destruct, Lin Yi had quickly and accurately launched an assimilation attack, directly cutting off Lu Jiwan's self-destruction. That was the self-destruction of a cultivator. Even a cultivator of the same level as Lu Jiwan would probably not be able to easily stop him. But Lin Yi managed to do it, and now that Lin Yi appeared, it seemed like there wasn't much of a problem. While the crowd was continuously shocked, in a bustling street in Cottonwood City, a girl who was eating candied haw suddenly opened her eyes and said, "There is the aura of our dragon race." Chapter 71. Tang. In the next moment, on the innocent face of the young girl, suddenly, layer upon layer of dragon scales appeared, constantly shimmering. But in just an instant, these dragon scales disappeared without a trace. After the moment when dragon scales appeared on her face, the vendor who had just sold the sugar-coated haws across from her was stunned. Soon, the vendor felt that he must have been mistaken. The dragon scales on the girl's face had already disappeared, so he must have had an illusion. He stared hard and realized that the girl was exceptionally beautiful, not to mention her adorable and pretty appearance. Her skin was exceptionally fair and smooth, so how could she possibly grow scales? If I had known, I would have gone to the Lord's mansion to watch the excitement. The Lord's mansion is now rumbling, it must be those immortals fighting. It was because I couldn't go there to watch the excitement in order to make money, so my heart was itchy, and then my eyes played tricks on me. Although the vendor was muttering to himself, it still startled the innocent girl. She took a few quick steps and couldn't help but stick out her little tongue. Because I thought there were dragon race nearby, I couldn't help but release my aura. This place is under the jurisdiction of the human 100 Flowers sect. According to my father, those human cultivators are very despicable. Our dragon race is full of treasures. If they were to discover us, they would definitely skin me, pull out my tendons, and use my dragon blood and dragon meat for various medicinal ingredients. Speaking of this, the girl's face suddenly changed, and she quickly swallowed 2 sugar-coated haws, causing her small mouth to be filled to the brim. No, if that's the case, then my dragon race people might be suffering such pain. I have to go and see first. The girl quickly swallowed the haws, leaving the vendor and many others dumbfounded. Then the girl walked towards the Lord's mansion. There was a great commotion at the Lord's mansion, but some ordinary people still had to make money. They could only endure the temptation to watch the excitement, and sell various goods there like the vendor selling sugar-coated haws. When the dragon race girl walked towards there, thump thump thump, a large number of people began to appear on the street. These people were all soldiers in full gear. There were also some people carrying the flags of their own families. Upon closer inspection, they were the people from the Wang and Bai families. These few families received the news a little later. Originally, these people were thinking that their family's rebellious children were hunting and playing, but they actually dared to impersonate the entire family and contribute the treasures owned by the family. For a while, the elders and heads of various families, as well as their seniors, were all furious. But the person who reported the news quickly explained that everything was for Lin Yi, which made these people quickly remember who Lin Yi was. Originally, they were quite happy, but suddenly these people from the families thought that a middle-aged man had gone to the Lord's mansion before, accompanied by dozens or even hundreds of servants, with great fanfare, proclaiming that he was going to propose on behalf of someone. In an instant, the expressions of these people changed. Finally, after thinking about it, they decided to go and see what had happened because of Lin Yi. On their way there, they were anxious the whole time. There was no way around it. Although Lin Yi was strong, a genius, and even had the possibility of having a spirit root, he was still just an ordinary martial Dao grandmaster, a sword genius. And that middle-aged man, according to many sources, might be a cultivator. These people even planned that if there was any conflict, they would bring out the cultivators they knew to suppress that middle-aged man. In order to make a bigger scene, they brought their family members along. After the incident at the Lord's mansion, Yinwei also had the soldiers of Cottonwood City, under the command of their respective generals, act together. This is why the streets are now in chaos. At this moment, Long Nu blinked her eyes and watched as so many people went forward, causing her to clench her small fists involuntarily. No, I must rescue my fellow clansmen later. Thinking this in her heart, Long Nu began to accelerate gradually. Since it seemed like a chaotic situation now, no one paid attention to her. When Long Nu arrived at the scene of the Lord's mansion with the crowd, she saw Lin Yi resolving everything. Long Nu immediately saw the fire dragon that was gradually being worn down by Lin Yi's spiritual energy. After the fire dragon completely disappeared, the talisman in the center of the fire dragon, which resembled a formation disc, also burst open completely. Next, a scale turned into fragments. Long Nu breathed a sigh of relief. What's the big deal? It turns out to be just a dragon race scale, and it's one of those ancient and damaged scales. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have come. Long Nu shook her head as she said this. However, her gaze quickly fell upon Lin Yi and Yin Wei, who were still embracing each other. Lin Yi and Yin Wei had not let go. When the glow formed by the spiritual energy on Lin Yi's body and the fire dragon completely dissipated, the two of them appeared completely in everyone's sight. Yin Tingting had been anxious for a long time. Although she believed that Lin Yi would definitely be able to handle the middle-aged man, the dangerous scene just now still made Yin Tingting feel unsettled in her heart. Seeing her mother and the man she had already recognized as her husband unharmed, Yin Tingting hurriedly rushed forward. Mother, husband, I'm so glad you're okay. The three of them embraced each other. Apart from Lin Yi, the other two women were almost in tears. Long Nu found all of this quite fresh and took a few more glances, but soon she was ready to leave. Not long after, she listened to the discussions of the people around her and found it quite interesting, so she decided to stay a little longer. I'm really impressed. This young man is simply ruthless. He is Lin Yi, right? I really didn't expect that he could withstand a cultivator, and he is also a cultivator himself. No wonder everyone was saying that Yin Tingting found her ideal husband and lover, and they became a complete couple, even going to the White Fairy Immortal Abode. So he really is a dragon among men, a cultivator. He's really a cultivator, so young and yet so powerful. Yes, look at his age, he's really young, probably around 20 years old, but he defeated that middle-aged cultivator Lu Jiwan. Ruthless, he's really ruthless. In the future, Cottonwood City is going to change. The Lord of Cottonwood City will probably completely control it, all because of this son-in-law. I actually think it's a bit scandalous. Tisk, look, the three of them are not hiding anything anymore. I'm too embarrassed to say. Some jealous and envious people were talking about other things. But the naive Long Nu heard the most about how much of a genius Lin Yi was. For a moment, Long Nu felt unwilling. How could this person's genius compare to her brother's? Her brother is a true genius of the dragon race. Many human cultivators have said that even the geniuses among human cultivators are nothing compared to their own brothers. However, looking at this young human, he has a good temperament and a handsome appearance. And at such a young age, he is at least at the third level of the chi refining stage. He is indeed a genius. Although he is far inferior to my brother, he can help my brother and maybe even participate in the competition for that thing. Even if he fails, he can still assist my brother in succeeding. A confused look flashed in the dragon girl's eyes, but when she thought about how Lin Yi could help her brother, the dragon girl immediately decided not to leave. She decided to wait here and give him some healing items later, and then have a good chat with him. But first, she had to hide her identity. She must not let anyone know that she is a girl from the dragon race who has transformed into a human form, and her true form is a dragon. Only let Lin Yi know. As long as that thing is within their dragon race family tribe, between herself and her brother, it will be enough. However, this Lin Yi is also considered a genius among humans. Even if he can't obtain those things, it is still possible for him to be recruited by her brother. Aren't humans supposed to be the vassals of our dragon race? Whether it's her father, mother, or other dragon race people, they all like to have some human followers. As she thought about it, a bright light suddenly appeared in the dragon girl's eyes. I can make Lin Yi become my follower first, and then let him and my brother compete for that treasure together. Yes, that's it. I'll heal Lin Yi later and make him my human follower. The scene of flattery continued. The crowd, who were too shocked, looked at Lin Yi, Yin Wei, and Yin Tingting, who were crying with their heads in their hands. They also noticed that Lin Yi was injured. A small number of people kept giving thumbs up to Lin Yi, moved by his actions. By Marshal King Kui and others also saw their own family members coming over, so they hurriedly shouted. Come quickly, Dad, Lin Yi's brother-in-law is here, he's injured, quickly bring our family's best medicinal herbs. His words triggered a chain reaction, and some people kept nodding. Hurry, father, bring out the gift our family prepared for Lin Yi and let him take it. The elders from the Wang and Bai families who came here were in a state of confusion. Before they came, how could they have known that Lin Yi was a cultivator? The scene just now deeply shocked them, and now they couldn't come back to their senses. They all felt like they were seeing an illusion. This cheap relative, Lin Yi, turned out to be a cultivator. The Wang and Lu families of Great Harmony Town didn't even tell them this information, leaving them in the dark. At the same time, they were scared out of their wits. Fortunately, they had been betting on Lin Yi before, otherwise they would be in big trouble this time. It wasn't until the words of By Marshal King Kui and others that they woke up. Here it comes, don't worry, I'll send someone to get it. Yes, quickly bring the 100-year-old ginseng king from my family, and give it to Lin Yi to drink well. He, I am your third grandfather, my name is Wang Lin. Don't worry, I will give you the best medicine, Lin Yi. Wu, son, can I call you that? And our family, Lin Yi, Don't worry, we will give you everything in the Bai family, all the herbs and even our family heirlooms. By the way, according to seniority, I am your grandfather. A large group of people crowded over. Many ordinary people around the scene gave way to them. Suddenly, someone at this moment stopped watching the excitement and instead showed panic on their faces, then tried to retreat. Although Lin Yi was injured, he still kept an eye on everything. Listening to these people flatter him, Lin Yi was very pleased, but he didn't let himself be blinded. He saw that some people were actually leaving, and couldn't help but sneer. What Lin Yi cared most about now was his mother-in-law Yin Wei. Taking advantage of Yin Tingting coming over now, Lin Yi felt that between the two of them, their relationship was starting to warm up. This was a very good sign. When others reminded him of his injuries, Yin Tingting and Yin Wei immediately remembered this, and they looked up at Lin Yi. Yin Wei was full of self-blame, "It's all my fault." Yin Tingting was even more self-blaming, "Mother, it's not your fault, it's all my fault, if it wasn't for me and Lin Yi, no, it's not our fault." Yin Tingting gritted her teeth and looked at the middle-aged man Lu Jian who had been killed by Lin Yi, as well as his servant old man Duo Bao and others. It's all that Lu Jian's fault. He relied on his identity as a cultivator and wanted to, so he deserved to die. It's not mother's fault. After speaking, the two women cried again. But Lin Yi was injured, so the two women quickly prepared to let Lin Yi enter the Lord's mansion and lie down to heal. The elders of the Bai and Wang families who had gathered around, Lin Yi also greeted them. "I'm sorry, elders, I'm injured, let's talk about our matters later." Speaking of this, Lin Yi swept around. "By the way, the so-called 100-year-old ginseng king and the low-grade spirit stone you mentioned, bring them over later, oh, and..." When Wang Kui and others looked puzzled, Lin Yi continued to say something that almost made their faces turn black. "Before, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, brothers, and others all congratulated me and Ting Ting on being together. They wanted to send a gift as a token of their congratulations. They reminded me to send it over early." Wang Kui and the others' faces turned slightly dark, but they quickly pretended to nod. However, an old man couldn't help but speak up. "Lin Yi, it's not that I'm unwilling to give, but like that hundreds of years old ginseng king, we only have one in the family. The one promised as a gift is temporarily unavailable." Lin Yi made a sound of agreement. "It's all right, cough cough cough." Lin Yi coughed as if injured. "It's temporarily fine, just bring it to me when you're ready. You can bring it anytime, but it's better not to be too late." Quote. After a moment of silence, everyone couldn't help but laugh and cry, but in the end, they could only swallow their grievances. Before, Lin Yi was a martial Dao grandmaster, a genius in swordsmanship. They had already decided to establish a good relationship with Lin Yi when there was a possibility of him having a spirit root. Now that Lin Yi has confirmed that he really has a spirit root and is a cultivator, there's no need to say anything else. They have to flatter him and give him gifts to strengthen their relationship. These people are also in Cottonwood City and are aware of the situation. Unlike Yin Tingting, who is focused on seeking opportunities and improving her cultivation, they are well aware that cultivators will divide territories. Originally, they were like headless flies, but now with Lin Yi as a cultivator, they can straighten their backs. Even if 100 Flowers sect sends cultivators to manage Cottonwood City, so what? The cultivators sent by 100 Flowers sect can't possibly be foundation building experts just for this small city, right? Qi refining stage cultivators above the 5th level are even less likely. In that case, the people sent will definitely not be stronger than Lin Yi. So there's no problem. They have to take care of Lin Yi with the strength of their family. Now that Lin Yi is injured, they have to nurse him back to health. Maybe Lin Yi can break through and become even stronger. Then they will be even more secure in Cottonwood City. Furthermore, even if Lin Yi is not capable of dividing territories, if any demons or monsters invade Cottonwood City, with Lin Yi there, they will feel safe. Seeing Lin Yi coughing, Yin Tingting hurriedly came over to support him. At this moment, the dragon girl, who had been in a daze, walked forward. The figure of the dragon girl appeared quickly. The dragon girl originally wanted to keep a low profile, but since they had decided to send medicine and let Lin Yi participate in helping her brother compete for that thing, she also recognized Lin Yi as her follower. Of course, the dragon girl also showed a bit of her strength. Lin Yi couldn't see through her strength. Lin Yi didn't even feel how the dragon girl moved, he only saw a girl who appeared in front of him in the blink of an eye. It was as if there was an illusion in his eyes. Originally, Yin Tingting and Yin Wei were supporting him, but now they both reached out their hands, disregarding everything, showing great courage, and helped Lin Yi up with concerned expressions on their faces. Lin Yi felt very pleased, thinking that his relationship with his mother-in-law could progress further. He was very happy, but then he saw this scene. In an instant, Lin Yi's heart couldn't help but stir. This girl is strong. Fortunately, Lin Yi didn't sense any cold killing intent from the girl's face, but rather a hint of a smile. Otherwise, Lin Yi would have to run away as fast as possible. Although he might not be able to escape, Lin Yi had his own cards. If this girl really had murderous intent towards him, he could use the medicines in his storage bag to hinder her for a while. Now, Lin Yi was being cautious all the time. At the same time, vaguely, Lin Yi felt that there might be a chance to marry another girl today. At this moment, swoosh swoosh swoosh, taking advantage of the dragon girl's arrival, after leaving behind shock and fear, those people who were already showing signs of wanting to escape, looking at Lin Yi with fearful eyes, more and more of them quickly left. Lin Yi looked at Wang Lin and the other relatives who had gained benefits. What are you waiting for, Grandpa Wang? Those people should be from the careless families. Hurry and catch them. After being reminded, Wang Lin and the others recognized that those people were indeed from the Ma family and the other families that Lin Yi had just killed. Nodding continuously, they used their eyes to indicate the location of the dragon girl. Should we stay? Lin Yi shook his head and then smiled at them. The newcomers are friends, not enemies. I believe they're not here to kill me, right, beautiful lady? The term, beautiful lady, isn't really popular, but after Lin Yi said it, the naive dragon girl was first puzzled, but soon smiled slightly. She seemed very happy. Yes, 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 I am a beautiful lady, ha ha ha, I like this title. I really didn't come to kill you, I want to give you, these first. After the dragon girl finished speaking, she directly reached out and grabbed into the void. In an instant, a white porcelain bottle appeared. When she opened the bottle, a medicinal fragrance immediately filled the air and shook the surroundings. Lin Yi's face couldn't help but change after smelling the medicinal fragrance. The medicine fragrance is too strong. The intensity of this medicine fragrance, the medicinal ingredients added to it, for Lin Yi, the feeling is completely different at this moment. Although Lu Ruyan's score did not reach 90 points before, it was still 89 points. It is even 1 point higher than the 88 points given by his wife Yin Tingting and his mother-in-law Yin Wei. So at that time, Lin Yi only felt that there was something more in his mind, not just the experience of refining medicine, but also the experience of 5 years of alchemy. Decades of knowledge in medicine, completely upgraded. It can be said that at that time, the 5 years of alchemy experience was much more precious and complex than 5 years of medicine experience. It made Lin Yi have some understanding and control over alchemy. So much so that after smelling this medicine fragrance, Lin Yi could almost be certain that the medicine in the porcelain bottle in front of him was undoubtedly an apex-level pill for cultivators to consume. As for the level, even judging by the fragrance of the several medicinal ingredients in the medicine fragrance, it is the standard of a king-level pill. It is still a precious king-level pill. Lin Yi has always remembered that cultivation resources such as techniques, pills, law treasures, talismans, formations, and formation discs, whether they are raw materials or the effects they produce or the form they take, are all clearly divided into different levels based on their strength and effects. The same goes for pills, which are divided into yellow level, profound level, king level, earth level, heaven level, Tao level, and emperor level, each level having upper, middle, and lower 3 grades. Generally speaking, pills and law treasures corresponding to the qi refining stage are usually yellow level. Profound level corresponds to the foundation building stage. The foundation building pill that Qin Yao previously fought over with the 2 disciples of the 100 Flowers sect is the most notable profound level pill for the foundation building stage. Of course, it can also be consumed by those in the qi refining stage. King level pills correspond to the gold core stage. What is contained in this porcelain bottle now is a king-level pill. Lin Yi can also feel that the fragrance of the medicine is rich and there are several different scents. It is clear that there is not just one king-level pill in the porcelain bottle, but at least several. Lin Yi discovered that even he felt a sense of intoxication when smelling this medicine fragrance. The medicinal effect contained in it is wrapped in spiritual energy, making him feel that it is almost softer and more high-level than a middle-grade spirit stone, even more gentle than a spirit stone. Many ordinary mortals nearby, after smelling the medicine fragrance, became intoxicated as if they were drunk. The weaker the mortal, the more pronounced this effect. After all, the spiritual energy and medicinal energy contained in this pill are not something that ordinary people can bear. For example, Lin Yi's current strength, swallowing this kind of king-level pill would not only be a waste, but it could also potentially cause problems with his body. For example, if he couldn't handle it, his cultivation could be damaged, just like an overinflated balloon. Naturally, there is also a very small probability that swallowing too much of the medicinal effect could cause a sudden surge in power. Those who had previously fled were stumbling in their steps. Their faces flushed, their eyes showing a dazed expression. Most of the onlookers greedily absorbed the fragrance in the air. Even Wang Kui, Bai Wu, and others who were originally listening to Lin Yi's command and preparing to capture those who had fled, were also unable to resist the allure of this fragrance. Their eyes showed a greedy expression. Some people even closed their eyes directly, and a burst of energy surged violently in their bodies. They were absorbing the energy particles brought out by the fragrance in the air. Although they were only Martial Dao Grandmasters, and some of them hadn't even reached the level of Martial Dao Grandmaster, they could still clearly sense and distinguish that there was a faint energy in the surrounding air that they could perceive, which was why they reacted like this. Lin Yi looked at the young girl, his eyes narrowing slightly. This is his apex-level rich woman. To casually take out a king-level pill, it should be for his own healing. The generosity of her actions, combined with the image of this young girl, who possesses extraordinary looks, only strengthens Lin Yi's determination to expand his harem. She's the one. With such a wife, his strength should skyrocket. Although he doesn't want to focus solely on cultivation and hard work, if he has a wealthy wife like her who can provide him with cultivation resources, he still enjoys occasionally engaging in serious cultivation. Lin Yi prepares to find the right opportunity to touch this beauty and see if she meets the requirements of the successor's record. For the first time, Lin Yi has this idea. Even if there is no reaction from the successor's record after touching her, indicating that she doesn't meet the requirements, he will find a way to make it happen. Even if it means wasting the divine body. She's a rich woman after all. Regardless of whether she can bring rewards to him or not, she herself is the reward. Lin Yi is ready to break his own rules. Looking at the girl in front of him, Lin Yi feels like he's looking at a treasure mountain. This rich treasure mountain is waiting for him to explore. Coughing a few times, Lin Yi gathers his thoughts. He quickly approaches. In the doubtful gaze of the dragon girl, he quickly takes the bottle cap from her hand and puts it on the bottle. During this process, Lin Yi's body trembles. When he touches the girl's hand with the cap, the successor's record keeps rolling, and the image of the girl appears vividly on the record. Touching can be used to select concubines. Dragon race, comprehensive score of 95. The reason for Lin Yi's body trembling is because he has been hit twice. Dragon race. This girl is actually from the dragon race, not a human. No wonder Lin Yi felt something was off before. When the girl pointed at the void just now, the faint aura emanating from her body made Lin Yi feel that it was slightly different from his own. And now, because of the successor's record, everything becomes real. Most importantly, Lin Yi also knows that this dragon race girl in front of him has a comprehensive score of 95. What does this mean? It means that this dragon girl is definitely either incredibly powerful, with strength comparable to a king-level pill she presented, such as the gold core stage, or her cultivation level is not too strong, but her potential is extraordinary. But thinking about it carefully, it's normal for the dragon race to have such geniuses. The dragon race in the extreme heaven continent is similar to the dragon race in the legend of the blue star, not those big lizards. At the same time, the dragon race is a mysterious and forbidden race in this world, and it is said to be naturally powerful. Not to mention their long lifespan, as soon as they are born, they can defeat Qi refining stage cultivators with their strong physical bodies and the energy in their bodies. Lin Yi doesn't know how old this dragon girl is, but judging from her appearance, she should be relatively young. I don't care anymore, I don't care anymore. I've already confirmed that she is a rich woman, and now I'm even more certain that she is a dragon girl, especially since her comprehensive score has reached 95. Just thinking about it, if I include her in my harem, how much benefit can I gain? Even if I have a divine body eruption and cultivate with her, allowing this dragon girl to give birth to my descendants. Then, how much reward will I receive? I'll probably reap all the benefits from the successor's record. Lin Yi can hardly contain his excitement. He can't even imagine the rewards he would receive from a wife with a score of 95. Soon, Lin Yi told himself to calm down and stop indulging in his fantasies. At the same time, Lin Yi glanced at the dragon race girl and found her to be even more innocent and naive than he had imagined. Clearly, when he accidentally touched her while taking out the stopper, if it had been Lu Rian or Qin Yao, they would have scolded him and called him a pervert. But this dragon race girl just stared at him with big eyes, only showing a hint of surprise. There was no doubt that she was surprised at what Lin Yi was doing, rather than thinking of something inappropriate. Innocent, overly pure, and chaste. Lin Yi had a plan. Sure enough, when Lin Yi looked at her, she happened to ask, "What are you doing?" Lin Yi smiled and replied, "Are you giving me these to help me heal? But my strength is not that strong yet. I probably won't need king-level pills like these. Plus, the medicinal effect is too strong, so I quickly covered the bottle to prevent others from getting intoxicated by the fragrance. By the way, beauty, do you have any slightly worse pills?" The dragon girl frowned and said, "So that's how it is." "No, the worst pills I have are these king-level pills. I don't have any worse ones in my storage ring." Lin Yi was struck dumb. Is this an apex-level rich woman? She is the richest of the rich. Is this even human language? No, she's not even human, she's a dragon. This dragon language is too hurtful. King-level pills, pills at the gold core stage, are considered the worst pills. Apart from the law treasure of the descendant's thigh, Lin Yi looked at the dragon girl, and every cell in his body was boiling. Collect, collect, collect. Wife, wife, I want her to be my wife. Not only Lin Yi wanted to call the dragon girl an apex-level rich woman, but many people around him felt the same way. Those who were still conscious also knew that although this girl seemed innocent and inexperienced, she was definitely a formidable transcendent-level expert. The countless things they had never heard of, such as the storage ring and the king-level pills, proved beyond their knowledge that the girl in front of them was incredibly powerful. However, they thought that she was a powerful transcendent-level cultivator. Only Lin Yi, through the descendant's record, had already confirmed that this girl's identity was a dragon race girl. Lin Yi remembered what the descendant's record had said before, that the objects to marry were not limited to a specific race. One of the phrases was, female life. At that time, Lin Yi was still wondering if there was no reproductive isolation between races. Now Lin Yi knew that he was naive. Reproductive isolation. Think about it, some ancient mythicals on Blue Star have factual evidence to completely discard the concept of reproductive isolation. For example, Xu Xian and the snake, the scholar and the fox woman, Wang Urge and the cabbage girl. No, it seems that something even more unimaginable has intruded. What kind of cabbage girl is that? Speaking of the cabbage girl, it seems that Lin Yi has read a very popular novel, written by a very famous author. It clearly records that a willow tree can transform into a willow god. If his body were to erupt, would there be a passionate love story with the willow god, or would there be offspring with the intruding cabbage girl? That would be too powerful. Dragon Ruo Ran looked at Lin Yi's smiling face and suddenly said, "No, you were able to smell that it was a king-level pill just from the fragrance. It seems that you must be an alchemist, right?" Dragon Ruo Ran's face showed a hint of admiration. She admired alchemists the most. Dragon race alchemists were already rare, and the proportion of alchemists born in the dragon race was much lower than that of the human race. And even so, among the human cultivators, alchemists are still extremely rare and respected by human venerables. Looking at Long Ruoran's expression, Lin Yi nodded, "I should have some experience in alchemy. It's not wrong to call me an alchemist." "Miss, no, beautiful lady, let's go inside the mansion and have a good chat. What exactly do you want to talk to me about? How did you know I had something to talk to you about?" That's why they call her the naive dragon girl. A counter question. Confused eyes. Lin Yi laughed, "Beauty, you are indeed cute. It's impossible for you to give me healing pills for no reason. There must be something you want to tell me. The dragon girl nodded. So that's it. I wonder how you guessed it. You're really smart. Moreover, you have the talent of an alchemist. I have high hopes for you. The naive dragon girl encouraged Lin Yi with an old-fashioned look, saying encouraging words. Lin Yi made a sound of agreement and continued to pretend to cough a few times, then waved to Yin Tingting. Madam, come quickly, come and support me. While calling Yin Tingting, Lin Yi looked at the dragon race girl Long Ruoran and began to devise a plan besides having bold ideas. Since this girl is naive, why not try to deceive her? Maybe there will be a pleasant surprise after deceiving her. First, invite her into the mansion and see what she wants. Since this girl doesn't have any murderous intent, whatever she asks for or wants to inquire about, I should be able to do it. Then, because of that matter, I can take the initiative and climb up, deceive her a bit and see. Marrying a dragon girl out of the blue, that's how it goes. Who made her look so naive and inexperienced? First, turn this potential wife into an actual wife. Yin Tingting hurried over to support Lin Yi. Unexplainably, Yin Tingting felt a hint of threat from the dragon girl and began to feel disgusted. She always felt that this girl was too arrogant. However, the effect of the medicine in the jade bottle just now made Yin Tingting a little dizzy. She also knew that this girl must have a great background. At the same time, Yin Tingting looked at Lin Yi and became more and more satisfied. What if she's a powerful cultivator? So what if she has a great background? She still has to admit that my husband has the talent for alchemy. Just by smelling the fragrance of the medicine, my husband knows the grade of this pill. Yin Tingting's thoughts were much more extensive than Yin Tingting's. Since this girl can take a king-level pill that is usually consumed by those in the gold core stage as the worst pill, it shows that this girl has a great background. And now, in this chaotic world, with the division of territories among cultivators, she might be able to make use of her. At the same time, Yin Tingting was also curious. Just like Lin Yi and her speculated, this girl wanted to give Lin Yi healing pills, but there's no such thing as a free lunch in the world. But it should be a good thing, otherwise she wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. Yin Tingting, who is familiar with basic common sense, also understands that being able to possess the worst king-level pill means that this person is likely to be a strong cultivator in the gold core stage. The sect master of Black Fiend sect is only at the 9th level of the Qi refining stage. The sect master of 100 Flowers sect is in the nascent soul stage, but being in the gold core stage is enough to become an elder in 100 Flowers sect. At the same time, when Yin Tingting approached, she really wanted to give the injured Lin Yi a big compliment. Her son-in-law, facing such a strong opponent, remained calm. And he even recognized the king-level pill. Indeed, what by Marshal King Kui and the others said about Lin Yi being an alchemist seems to be true. It's even possible that Lin Yi has made further progress and has achieved the title of alchemist. Even a girl with a great background has confirmed it. Looking at Lin Yi, Yin Wei was overjoyed. However, when she thought about how she had been saved by Lin Yi before and had made such a gesture, Yin Wei inexplicably felt that her previous husband, Tingting's father, not only died early, but even when he was alive, he couldn't compare to Lin Yi, let alone be mentioned in the same breath. Now her daughter Yin Tingting was supporting Lin Yi, which made Yin Wei suddenly feel a hint of bitterness in her heart. How could she think like this? How could she compare her good son-in-law to her husband? Yin Wei dispelled the irrelevant thoughts in her mind and blushed. Soon, she adjusted her emotions and smiled at Long Ruoran. Thank you, immortal, for giving my son-in-law the healing elixir. Please come in and have a cup of tea and chat. Long Ruoran nodded. Next, Yin Wei and Yin Tingting supported Lin Yi and entered the Lord's mansion together. Long Ruoran also walked in. After everyone entered, Wang Lin and others outside the Lord's mansion looked at each other. While sending their family members to untie by Marshal King and the others, they sighed. Another strong person has emerged. Fortunately, it's a good thing. By the way, speaking of this, Wang Lin suddenly became excited, and his old body seemed to be filled with boundless confidence. I never expected that Lin Yi not only has spirit root and has become a cultivator, but also crossed another step from an alchemist and successfully became an alchemist, recognized by that immortal. Tisk tisk, remarkable, remarkable. His words made Bai Fan and others nod repeatedly. The untied white tiger Wang Kui and others were even more so. Among the onlookers, Lin Yi had already shocked them several times. Soon, the members of the Wang and Bai families took action again, capturing all the careless members of the Ma family who were trying to escape. In order to fulfill the promised gift to Lin Yi, they directly joined forces with some soldiers from the Lord's mansion and invaded the Ma family, killing their members and seizing their property. Afterwards, they couldn't help but think about the powerful girl who might be at the gold core stage or even stronger, and what she was talking about with Lin Yi in the Lord's mansion. While they were thinking like this, discussions about Lin Yi in the city had already spread completely. At such a young age, he was already a martial Dao grandmaster, a sword genius, which was enough for everyone to discuss and acknowledge his talent. Now that Lin Yi had another identity as an alchemist, many people who heard it for the first time felt that he was simply the perfect young talent. Moreover, Lin Yi was no longer just a young talent, but a young talent among cultivators. Could the value of a cultivator be the same? Now that Lin Yi's name was mentioned, everyone praised him. Even many people felt that with Lin Yi, the Yin family would definitely soar to new heights. And Lin Yi's relationship with the Bai and Wang families was also extraordinary. He even married a member of their families, which made some people start to think they could also marry their daughters to establish good relationships. Amidst the commotion, some other families also began to think that this route was favorable. After all, the news of Lu Ruyan, the courtesan, and Lin Yi's achievements had also spread. It sparked heated discussions and made people think that Lin Yi was a bit lustful. However, there were other voices in the city. Inside the Lord's mansion, the servants brought by Lu Jiwan's old man Duo Bao were all captured and killed. The Ma family members were also killed. This made some people who were connected to them unable to help but think that this time, Lin Yi might not be able to gain any benefits. Cottonwood City's Lord Yin Wei would also be held responsible. There must be someone behind Lu Jiwan. That person was also a powerful cultivator who would definitely not let go of Cottonwood City's Lord Yin Wei, Lin Yi, and the Bai and Wang families. This kind of argument made Wang Lin, Bai Fan, and others also worry in their hearts. In a luxurious villa in a city thousands of miles away from Cottonwood City. In a luxurious mansion, an old man in a purple robe was smiling as he watched the maids and servants busy themselves, tidying up the vegetation and arranging things in the courtyard. Soon, he squinted his eyes and looked towards the sky. I wonder how Jiwan is doing in Cottonwood City this time. With his cultivation at the first level of the Qi refining stage, he should be able to handle Cottonwood City's Lord Yin Wei. Using the Yin family as a threat, as well as the backing of the Black Fiend sect, I don't believe Yin Wei won't agree. Recently, I've had a feeling that she might even break through to the fourth level of the Qi refining stage. Unfortunately, I have to let the little beauty Yin Tingting guard an empty room for a while. I have to go into seclusion first. As he said this, he beckoned. A junior approached. Father, what's the matter? The old man in the purple robe spoke. If Jiwan returns with Cottonwood City's Lord Yin Hui's daughter Yin Tingting, settle Yin Tingting first. I will go into seclusion to cultivate. I'll talk about it when I come out. Don't worry, it won't take long. All right, father, I'll remember. The old man in the purple robe nodded, disappeared with a flash. Leaving behind his junior, whose eyes were filled with envy and jealousy as he watched the speed at which the old man disappeared. Inside the Lord's mansion in Cottonwood City, Lin Yi was supported into the main hall of the Lord's mansion because Long Ruoran was following. Otherwise, Lin Yi felt that he could also be supported into Lady Yin Tingting's chamber. Even, it was possible to go into mother-in-law Yin Hui's chamber. Looking at the bottle in Long Ruoran's hand that he hadn't put back, Lin Yi felt that he shouldn't let it go to waste. King-level pill. Of course, Lin Yi couldn't swallow a whole pill, but he could dilute the effect and use it slowly. From Long Ruoran's hand, Lin Yi took out a king-level pill and diluted it with water and other herbs. Then he prepared the herbs himself, using some sweet-tasting ones to make the medicine taste better. After Lin Yi finished the on-site demonstration, he thought for a moment and made another batch of more diluted king-level pills, intending for mother-in-law Yin Wei and Lady Yin Tingting to drink them. Suddenly, it caught the attention of the rich woman, Dragon Lady Long Ruoran. Long Ruoran looked at Lin Yi, who was busy making the medicine, and the medicine looked very delicious, with a strong fragrance that made her mouth water, gushing out like it was about to overflow. She opened the jade bottle again and took out more pills. No, I also want this medicine, I want to drink it. It looks so delicious. You, make some for me, Long Ruoran said, smelling the fragrance of the medicine, her mouth watering, without any demeanor of a powerful cultivator. Looking at Lin Yi, even her authoritative manner was diminished. Lin Yi narrowed his eyes. Well, then get some more pills, and I'll make some for you. Long Ruoran directly gave the whole jade bottle to Lin Yi. There are 10 more pills in here, use them all. When she heard that Lin Yi was really going to refine them for her, she became too excited and quickly gave the bottle to Lin Yi. Lin Yi took the medicine bottle from her smooth little hand and nodded. Then I'll make some for you. After Lin Yi finished speaking, he began to manipulate the pills. Long Ruoran couldn't wait and paced back and forth. Yin Tingting originally had a strong sense of disgust and resistance towards Long Ruoran. But looking at Long Ruoran's current appearance, Yin Tingting inexplicably felt that this girl, regardless of her cultivation level, was too naive and seemed to be missing a few strings in her head. Husband, you should stop for now. You should take the medicine first and stop your injuries. Yin Wei also nodded quickly. Yes, Lin Yi, good son-in-law, you should drink this medicine first and stop your injuries a bit. Seeing the two of them caring about him, Lin Yi first drank all the medicine. Boom boom boom. Lin Yi suddenly felt the medicine surging in his body, making him feel a bit overwhelmed, even a bit hot, with a flushed face. Oh, by the way, mother-in-law, lady, you should drink too, I made some for you. Lin Yi was interrupted before he finished speaking. No more, I can't take it anymore. I must make you my servant. I, Long Ruoran, of the dragon race, are you willing to be my follower? It is your honor to become my servant. Follow me and specialize in making this kind of sweet-tasting medicine for me, and make all the medicines I eat for me, quickly, quickly. Long Ruoran reached out directly, and her aura burst forth, enveloping Yin Tingting and Yin Wei. In the blink of an eye, the two disappeared. She actually used a transformation technique to make Yin Tingting and Yin Wei leave. Amidst the burst of aura, a gust of wind formed around. But between Lin Yi and Long Ruoran, there was no effect in the small area. Obviously, because of this medicine, the impatient Long Ruoran couldn't bear it and started ordering Lin Yi. Although Long Ruoran had been condescending before and spoke with the demeanor of a leader, she didn't have this commanding feeling. But now, Lin Yi realized that something was off. So you didn't come to ask me to do something else, you wanted to recruit me as your follower. To put it nicely, it's a follower, but to put it bluntly, isn't it just a slave? How can I do that? A coldness flashed in Lin Yi's eyes. Fine, we each have our own ways. You want me to be your follower, but I want you to be my wife. Since you are heartless, don't blame me for being unrighteous. If you want to bully me and make me your slave, then I have to bully you and make you my wife. A hint of coldness swept through his eyes, and Lin Yi had a thought. Although this dragon lady Long Ruoran was extremely powerful, he didn't have any stronger medicine to affect her. But he could use this king-level pill to stimulate other properties of the medicine. If his perception was correct, there was a kind of 7-star grass in this pill that could cause hallucinations. So he would start from here, hallucinating the dragon lady. As for what would happen when the dragon lady regained her senses and went crazy, who cared? Lin Yi didn't stop his hands and continued to manipulate the medicinal liquids. Since Long Ruoran likes these medicinal liquids, he can make some adjustments himself. No need to say anything else. Inside, besides the hallucinogenic effects of the 7-star grass in the pill itself, he also needs to add some of his own Heihuan powder and anesthetic. Arrange a large dosage. This is not the time to uphold the principles of a gentleman. He needs to leave himself a back door. If you're already like this, if I don't take action, am I really going to become your follower? Then what's the point of obtaining the law treasure and having descendants? Madame Qin Yao wanted me to accompany her to the Joyous Union sect, but I refused. It's because I want freedom. Being unrestricted is the best way to cultivate immortality. So, I apologize. Lin Yi didn't say much, but continued to stir the medicinal liquids. Success. He must succeed. Now, Lin Yi truly desires more than the 5 years of alchemy experience he received as a reward before. Surprisingly, as the fragrance of the medicinal liquids became stronger, Lin Yi was more satisfied. Long Ruoran couldn't wait any longer and started drinking eagerly. Because she was so happy and intoxicated by the medicine, her aura exploded, as if a gust of wind had formed in an instant. Lin Yi keenly felt that there were changes in Long Ruoran's body. On her originally cute and beautiful cheeks, it seemed like scales were shimmering. And Long Ruoran, after drinking the medicine, seemed to have had a bit too much, making her appear drunk. It tastes so good, so good. Long Ruoran looked at Lin Yi with a dazed expression, a hint of drunkenness in her eyes, and burped. I want to drink more, it's so delicious. Long Ruoran urged, and then, whoosh, 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 a mysterious sound of wind rang out. Long Ruoran frantically grabbed at the empty space, and soon, one after another, medicine bottles appeared from her storage ring. She quickly opened these medicine bottles. Lin Yi couldn't see clearly what Long Ruoran was doing with her hands, but he saw that 2 small antlers had appeared on top of Long Ruoran's head. Those antlers looked like deer antlers, emitting a faint golden light, golden yellow. Her originally black hair also turned somewhat golden. On her face, those scales began to increase. Those scales were densely packed. However, these scales were relatively small and didn't seem extremely hard. Long Ruoran, in her dazed state, became more and more confused, but also became incredibly greedy. Hurry, Lin Yi, you're my follower, quickly get it for me. Lin Yi chuckled, all right, I'll get it for you right away. Lin Yi quickly grabbed a portion of the pills and carefully sniffed them. Confirming that he recognized some of the ingredients, he began to combine them with the previous king-level pills. This way, the medicinal effects of the pills would be even greater. Long Ruoran's eyes were hazy, only focused on eating and drinking, and then he started talking to himself. Before Lin Yi could ask, he revealed all his little secrets. I originally wanted you to become a follower for my brother. Both my brother and I are near the Longmao Mountain in the Great Gorge. That place is a hidden tomb of our dragon race, containing the heritage of the dragon race. I initially thought that as a genius of the human race, you could help my brother obtain the treasures and heritage within the forbidden area of the dragon race. There is a powerful restriction formation there, suppressing the cultivation of anyone who enters. I believe you have a great chance of obtaining the good things and heritage there. Then you can give them to my brother. Every dragon race has human cultivators as servants, so I wanted you to become my follower. Now that you also have the talent of an alchemist, that's great. You can be my follower. Ha ha ha, from now on, you can drink whatever you want. Be your grandmother's follower, and you want me to follow your brother. Follow your grandmother's leg. Lin Yi decided to take a gamble. Hearing this, he started to persuade, I don't like being a follower. Think about it, others become followers for human cultivators. Why don't you try a different approach? A different approach? What kind of approach? With his eyes still hazy, Long Ruoran continued to drink the potions, his aura surging. At this moment, Lin Yi spoke up, how about you become my wife? From now on, you can drink as much of these potions as you want. What do you think? What, wife? What does that mean? Is it like my parents? Well, it's not impossible, but we would have to have children. I'm afraid of the pain, and besides, you're a human and I'm a dragon, how is that possible? Lin Yi thought there was a way, but he didn't expect that after Long Ruoran drank the hallucinogenic potion, he actually seemed to be considering agreeing. No, she must agree. Whether she is loyal or not, as long as she agrees and the descendants recognize it, she will be rewarded. With a comprehensive score of 95 points, Long Ruoran is within his grasp, so he must act quickly. Think about it, haven't any dragon race members ever been with human cultivators? There must be some. If they can do such special things, you shouldn't fall behind, right? So, agree with me. In the midst of her confusion, a flicker of memory flashed in Long Ruoran's hazy eyes. What you said seems true, but I can't let my parents and my brother know about this, otherwise they definitely won't agree and will kick me out. Lin Yi felt like he had become a bad uncle. He had to try harder, success was within reach. Then just don't tell them. We can say that I am your follower to the outside world, and internally, well, you can call me your husband. Agree to this, and I will give you the potions. Otherwise, I won't refine them for you anymore. Think about it, in the future, I will be your husband, and you can drink the potions however you want. I will refine them for you anytime, anywhere. Isn't that good? If you don't agree, give me back the potions. Lin Yi decided to take another gamble, and then he continued, I won't refine them for you anymore. Give them back to me, quickly. I won't give back the potions. I want more potions. Fine, I agree to become your wife, but you can't tell my parents and my brother about it, otherwise I'm afraid they will kill you. Then I won't have such a good follower to refine this potion for me anymore. Fine, I'll call you my husband. Boom. In Lin Yi's mind, the page of Long Ruoran's portrait in the future descendants record suddenly changed. Marriage and concubinage candidate. Dragon race Long Ruoran, comprehensive score of 95 points. Success. When Lin Yi used a little trickery with Lu Ruyan, he already guessed that Lu Ruyan's feelings for him could not reach loyalty, at most just a little sincerity. But after she agreed to become his wife, the record of descendants suddenly turned a page and rewarded him. Recognizing that Lu Ruyan is the object of his marriage and concubinage. So this time, what Lin Yi was aiming for was a verbal agreement from Long Ruoran, to see if there would be any rewards in the record of descendants. Is it possible to be disloyal? If that's the case, Lin Yi has an even bigger plan. However, soon, Lin Yi heard a sentence that made him feel half cold. Long Ruoran spoke. From the sound of it, Long Ruoran's agreement to become his wife had some loyalty in it. The grand plan is going bankrupt. I agree to become your wife, can you give me more delicious food? That's what Long Ruoran said. Although everything was successful, looking at the slightly confused dragon race girl Long Ruoran in front of him, Lin Yi still felt that Long Ruoran was clearly experiencing hallucinations due to the effects of those pills, but she still spoke coherently, her mind not completely chaotic. He couldn't rely solely on these pills, he had to discover Long Ruoran's confusing characteristics, her pure instincts. Use lies to deceive her. Record of descendants. Marrying and taking concubines, 95 points for dragon race Long Ruoran, rewarded with 30 years of lifespan, 30 years of cultivation, 30 years of artifact refining experience, 30 years of array refining experience, 30 years of pill refining experience, 30 high-grade spirit stones as a reward, king-level low-grade golden dragon sword as a reward, golden dragon body bloodline as a reward, and 1 sword intent comprehension. It exploded. The feeling of exploding. The rewards, directly exploding to the maximum. Just as Lin Yi was still thinking about deceiving dragon race Long Ruoran, the rewards from the record of descendants that even Lin Yi himself hadn't expected began to appear. Directly at the maximum. This time's rewards, because Long Ruoran's comprehensive score reached 95 points, the rewards issued by the record of descendants almost covered everything. 30 years of lifespan, 30 years of cultivation, and 30 years of artifact refining, array refining, and pill refining experience. These experiences formed a vast and complex knowledge, instantly exploding in Lin Yi's mind, making his head slightly swollen. Soon, Lin Yi had a great comprehension of pill refining, array refining, and artifact refining. Because the accumulation of pill refining experience was the highest, Lin Yi could instantly recognize how many medicinal herbs were mixed in the king level and even higher level pills placed in front of him. Even how to make them, Lin Yi also gained a little insight. I understand much more than before, it's simply too much. Lin Yi is full of confidence. What deception? Deceiving who? One move is enough to conquer all. I want. Medicine, medicine, medicine. At the same time, Lin Yi is also envious of the reward of 30 high-grade spirit stones. These are high-grade spirit stones. 1 high-grade spirit stone can be exchanged for 100 middle-grade spirit stones, and 1 middle-grade spirit stone can be exchanged for 100 low-grade spirit stones. If spirit stones are to be exchanged, they will only increase, not decrease. From this, it can be inferred that Lin Yi's actions instantly gained him 30,000 low-grade spirit stones. If Long Ruoran is a wealthy woman, then Lin Yi is now a small rich man. And that's not all. Lin Yi clearly feels that on a book in the Descendants record, there is a golden sword emitting a golden light, resembling a dragon. The entire sword is golden, and when Lin Yi looks through his mind, he can clearly see the sword light constantly shining. As if there were continuous dragon roars, constantly erupting within it. Golden sword dragon transformation, sharp and boundless. While Lin Yi was thinking about these things, boom boom boom, the two rewards behind him began to show their power. Among them, there is a hint of sword intent comprehension. Lin Yi can comprehend it as soon as he wants. Impatiently, Lin Yi quickly suppressed it. Now is not the time to wield swords, it's time to play with guns. In Lin Yi's body, just like the Great Freedom Sword technique and the Withered Tree Reviving Spring Dual Cultivation technique, both have been practiced for 30 years. Even the basic cultivation methods of the 100 Flowers sect that he saw before, he has gained new insights into many of the techniques and knowledge. With the continuous improvement of these powers, as if he had practiced for 30 more years, Lin Yi suddenly felt that he no longer needed to comprehend sword intent for the time being. It's like this is a reward from the system, and he can use it anytime and anywhere when he is comprehending. He had a hint of sword intent before, and now he has it again, which makes Lin Yi feel that if he were to apply it, he would be even stronger in the way of the sword. Boom boom boom. The rumbling continues. When the power and energy continue to circulate, Lin Yi feels that the golden dragon body is about to appear. After thinking about it, looking at Long Ruoran, it's risky to not transform the body during cultivation, so Lin Yi immediately decides not to suppress it anymore. Therefore, suddenly, Lin Yi feels as if he is undergoing a blood transformation. Under the continuous increase of power, those cells are increasing, and within the descendant's record, there are continuous bursts of energy. Golden light roars, erupting from the mind. And then, my own blood began to boil like never before, my body burning with intense heat. Previously, my blood was incredibly crimson, but now, through introspection, Lin Yi saw that there were also specks of golden light in his blood. Golden dragon body. Lin Yi suddenly looked at Long Ruoran. He knew that the rewards from the descendant's record were indeed closely related to each concubine. His current concubine was Long Ruoran, and she was a dragon race girl, so many of the rewards he received were related to the dragon race. For example, the change in his bloodline was the golden dragon body. And the sword he obtained was a golden dragon sword. This golden dragon sword was a king-level low-grade weapon, and when paired with the golden dragon body, it was simply invincible. Coupled with the sword intent comprehension he gained from the Great Freedom Sword technique, Lin Yi didn't know how strong he would become when he fully integrated everything. However, because the grade of the golden dragon sword was extremely high, Lin Yi felt that even though his strength had improved, it would be almost impossible for him to fully utilize the sword perfectly. Only when he unleashed the power of the golden dragon body's bloodline eruption would he be able to somewhat make good use of the golden dragon sword. While Lin Yi was thinking about all this, he felt the power within his body continuously rising. The spiritual energy flowing through his body seemed to gather and become more and more uncontainable, making him want to scream like a madman. The energy in his body was now more than twice as much as before. He should be at the 4th stage of the chi refining stage now. Thinking of this, with a bang, Lin Yi used the fireball technique, and a huge fireball appeared in his hand. The fireball had reached the size of a fist. Previously, the fireball was only the size of a fingernail. It worked, it really worked. I now have at least the strength of the 4th stage of the chi refining stage. With the golden dragon body, the golden dragon sword, and the comprehension of sword intent, even if it's the 5th stage of the chi refining stage, I have the power to fight. With a mad laugh, Lin Yi's eyes stared at Long Ruoran. Since he had married such a concubine and received such generous rewards, what if this concubine cultivated with him and gave birth to descendants? Thinking about this, Lin Yi disregarded everything and started waving his hands. Smack, smack, smack. Continuously striking those pills. His previous experience in pill refining was not enough, so Lin Yi could only rely on Long Ruoran's naturally simple and innocent nature, just like deceiving a child. But now, Lin Yi knew the effects of these pills, so what was he waiting for? Not long after, the effects of the pills spread, and Long Ruoran's aura began to change. At this moment, Lin Yi took advantage of the opportunity and made his move. You're not greedy, are you? In my hometown, there are snacks called lollipop. They're very delicious. What, follower, do you want to eat? What should you call me? Lin Yi, you. Do you want to eat? What should you call me? Husband, husband, that's right, I really want to buy you some lollipops from your hometown. The greedy Long Ruoran cried. At this moment, Lin Yi also realized that practicing with Long Ruoran was incredibly effective. Most importantly, the scales on Long Ruoran's body were soft during cultivation. The dragon horn also had a bonus for cultivation. In addition to the scales, Long Ruoran also had wings. Fortunately, they were not exposed, but Lin Yi still found everything fascinating. After a long time, the two women, Yin Wei and Yin Tingting, who had been moved away by Long Ruoran, began to reappear outside the house. Their faces turned pale and worried. They really didn't expect that Long Ruoran was actually a young girl from the dragon race, not a human. They accidentally revealed it and admitted it with their own mouths. And they even directly swept the two of them away because of their greed for those potions. What was most hateful, she actually wanted to capture Lin Yi, take Lin Yi away, and make Lin Yi her follower and servant, constantly refining potions for her. This was unbearable. Lin Yi absolutely couldn't let herself be taken away by them. If it weren't for the fact that the two of them weren't injured at the moment, they would probably be even more worried about Lin Yi. Although the two of them were unharmed, they were sent away with a single attack from Long Ruoran, and they directly left the Lord's mansion and landed lightly in a dense forest. It was a garden unique to Cottonwood City, a place for people to picnic and play, a few miles away from the Lord's mansion. Just based on this move, one could imagine Long Ruoran's strength. But the two of them quickly returned to the Lord's mansion. They dared to come back even if it meant risking their lives. Along the way, their appearance was recognized by some people, which was quite unexpected. They couldn't understand why the Lord and the young Lord appeared in the garden, on the street, and on the way back to the Lord's mansion. Shouldn't they be in the Lord's mansion? Just as the two of them had just returned to the Lord's mansion, a loud roar suddenly came from the sky. The roar of a giant beast. Immediately after, some people saw with fear that there was a huge figure in the sky, rapidly approaching from a distance. That figure, shining with golden light, soars in the sky. From a distance, it looks like a small mountain. As it gets closer, many people in Cottonwood City are starting to panic. They see that figure hovering in the sky, moving back and forth. Its huge dragon head is held high, exuding a powerful dragon aura. Under the dazzling sunlight, it emits golden rays of light. Some ordinary people can't see through the golden light and look at the huge dragon figure. Many details are unclear. They can only vaguely see countless scales covering it. On its huge dragon head, its eyes are wide open with a hint of confusion, looking towards the direction of the Cottonwood City Lord's mansion. Some people, under the influence of the dragon's presence, feel an immense sense of awe. Their bodies tremble uncontrollably and soon collapse to the ground. Whether it's ordinary people who cannot cultivate, or Cottonwood City's martial Dao grandmasters like King Lin and Bai Fan, or the few Qi refining stage cultivators who remain in Cottonwood City, their bodies are still uncontrollably trembling. These Qi refining stage cultivators almost simultaneously look up at the sky. In their weak state, their eyes reveal boundless terror, and they subconsciously mutter to themselves. At least a gold core stage dragon, or even a nascent soul stage dragon. Only foundation building stage cultivators can fly short distances at low altitudes. Even those with exceptional talent in sword and tool manipulation cannot fly for long periods of time, as it consumes too much energy. Therefore, only true gold core stage cultivators can engage in slightly longer distance flights. Or, there are those with exceptional talent, although the probability is very small, who can fly to a certain extent even with a low cultivation level in the foundation building stage. Some monsters and human cultivators have some differences, because they have special abilities. For example, pure energy beings like ghosts, or monsters without wings that can manipulate Qi and fly unhindered. This golden dragon, without wings on its back, can fly, which is normal. After all, dragons are naturally adept at flying and can manipulate Qi from a young age. But the size and length of this dragon's body can only mean that it is at least at the gold core stage or even stronger. Swish, swish, swish. Suddenly, the golden dragon spreads its coiled body, spanning hundreds or even thousands of kilometers. This formidable creature freely hovers over Cottonwood City, and in its dragon eyes, confusion quickly gives way to a disdainful aura that looks down upon the world. There, soon, the dragon swiftly targets the direction of the city lord's mansion and sweeps towards it. Such a powerful dragon aura covers almost half of Cottonwood City. As the dragon's gaze focuses on the city lord's mansion, many people follow the direction of its eyes and look towards the mansion. Some people suddenly remember that there is a major event happening at the city lord's mansion today, but they don't know which force this dragon belongs to and why it is looking at the city lord's mansion. Inside the city lord's mansion, Lin Yi feels that his body is struggling to keep up while cultivating with Long Ruoran. It's too physically and mentally exhausting. Although Long Ruoran, in her human form, appears to be a normal human with a small build. But after all, her true form is a dragon, and her cultivation level is incredibly strong. When they cultivate together, Lin Yi feels heavily suppressed. Lin Yi has already sensed that Long Ruoran has at least reached the gold core stage. With more and more cultivation, Lin Yi has used the Withered Tree Reviving Spring dual cultivation technique to absorb a massive amount of energy. At the same time, Lin Yi has also learned a lot about Long Ruoran from her. For example, Lin Yi managed to extract from Long Ruoran that she is nearly 300 years old. But this age is just the beginning of adulthood for dragons, still very young. Her strength is not particularly outstanding. And besides eating, she also likes to sleep, which makes her temperament resemble that of a spoiled child. Before Lin Yi could ask more, he felt that something was wrong. After becoming a golden dragon, he has a particularly sensitive reaction to the dragon's aura. He knows that there is a strong dragon aura erupting in the sky right now, and that dragon aura is getting closer and closer to this place. Not good. Clearly, it is highly possible that Long Ruoran's elders have arrived. Quickly end the battle, unleash the power of Lin Yi's golden dragon divine body, and fully display his perfect accuracy divine body. Definitely able to give birth to offspring. With the combination of the golden dragon divine body, launch the most powerful attack. Because of this excitement, even during cultivation, Long Ruoran can be suppressed. After thinking about it, Lin Yi continues to take advantage of the situation, leaving something behind for Long Ruoran. At the same time, Lin Yi starts to deceive Long Ruoran. Our affair, don't tell your elders. After all, you know that I can only be your follower, not your husband. Otherwise, I will be in trouble. If something happens to me, how will you eat? I sense that your elders are coming. Remember, in the future, I will refine more good things for you to eat. If you need anything, you can come find me. But our secret must be kept confidential. Well, all right, pinky promise not to change for 1,000 years. Long Nu says in a daze. Lin Yi nods and quickly pinky promises with Long Nu. Everything is settled. Lin Yi and Long Nu no longer cultivate together. At the same time, Lin Yi feels a roar coming from above the city lord's mansion. Ruoran, where are you? Uncle San is here, come with me. Real uncle is here, not like Lin Yi, a bad uncle. Originally, Lin Yi was worried about being questioned, but hearing the urgency in the roar, Lin Yi suddenly feels at ease. It's fine, it seems that this powerful dragon race expert is even stronger than Long Ruoran. It's estimated that there must be something else going on at the nascent soul stage of the dragon race, so they are in a hurry to take Long Ruoran away. Since you're in a hurry, what else do I have to fear? Long Ruoran becomes more and more clear-headed, and at the same time, she feels that her strength has increased slightly after cultivating with Lin Yi. Why am I stronger, and can only couples do the cultivation we just did? It's fun. In a daze, Long Ruoran asks. Lin Yi explains. Oh, it's because of the medicine I gave you. You took a bit too much, and the effects of the medicine erupted, which made you stronger and improved your cultivation. Long Ruoran nods, and her expression suddenly changes. I have to go, but I can't bear to leave you. You come with me to make food. I want to drink your medicine. Lin Yi quickly shakes his head. No, my wife, if I go with you, I won't be able to protect myself. You should leave quickly. If you have time in the future, sneak out and find me then. When Long Ruoran wants to say more, HMPH, a roar comes from the sky. Long Ruoran nods, pouting her small mouth. In the next moment, Long Ruoran quickly puts all the medicine that Lin Yi had refined into her storage ring. She also takes out some pills and throws them to Lin Yi before leaving the room. Outside the room, Yin Wei and Yin Tingting are already trembling under the oppressive aura of the huge dragon. Long Ruoran looks at the two of them, then nods. You two must take good care of my husband, follower. Yes, take good care of him. I'm leaving. In the next moment, to the astonishment of the two women, Long Ruoran's body expands, a powerful dragon aura envelops her, and she rises into the air with a dazzling golden light. Soon, Long Ruoran and the dragon shadow in the sky gather together. Compared to the huge dragon shadow, Long Ruoran's body is much smaller. Naughty, actually running away from home. Hurry up and leave, otherwise this place will be dangerous. Listening to his words, Long Ruoran nods, and her huge dragon head looks towards Lin Yi, who is standing at the door, using his own aura to support Yin Wei and Yin Tingting, preventing them from collapsing onto Lin Yi. Before long, a huge golden light envelops Long Ruoran's body. The two giant dragons shining with golden light disappear. When these two giant dragons leave, Cottonwood City completely erupts. A dragon. It's really a dragon. Although there are many demonic dragons, this dragon didn't harm anyone, and it went to the city lord's mansion. I seem to have heard that they are in danger. Definitely, it's over. Who knows what kind of monsters and demons will appear later, we don't know what will happen then. Even if it's not monsters, it could be cultivators from our human race, powerful individuals who can easily destroy half of Cottonwood City with a single sword strike. We need to leave quickly. Yes, worst case scenario, it could be powerful cultivators from our human race. Regardless, we need to hide. We can't let ourselves be crushed into dust by the residual power of someone who reveals just a fraction of their strength. Absolutely, let's retreat. Wife, quickly follow me home. Hurry, hide in our own vegetable cellar. As the figure of the giant dragon left, fear continued to spread throughout the city. Many people clearly heard the words of the enormous dragon shadow. A dragon of at least gold core or nascent soul stage, clearly stated that this place was dangerous, with a sense of urgency in its words. This led countless people to speculate that either powerful human cultivators were hunting them, or there were some monsters and demons chasing them. In any case, the people or monsters chasing them were undoubtedly extremely powerful. They had to be on the same level as the enormous golden dragon. If they were in a bad mood, they could easily launch an attack and wipe out a part of Cottonwood City in an instant. No one felt safe anymore. Lin Yi also understood this. And Lin Yi knew that the giant dragon had come for Long Ruoran, and its urgent tone didn't seem fake. Otherwise, it wouldn't have swept Long Ruoran away without questioning the people in the city lord's mansion or asking Long Ruoran directly. Looking at the impact of the powerful dragon's aura in the sky just now, Lin Yi's excitement from killing a cultivator at the 5th level of the Qi refining stage due to his increased cultivation suddenly cooled down, as if his head had been doused with cold water, and he became calm. Compared to the gold core stage Long Ruoran, or even her third uncle at the nascent soul stage, Lin Yi realized that he was far inferior. The words of the powerful being were definitely true. Just like some people in the city lord's mansion were discussing, if a breath of qi transformed into an attack or if a large-scale fireball spell was used, it would be truly disastrous. Shaking his head, Lin Yi turned to look at the two women. After Lin Yi withdrew the protective aura that was shielding the two women, he found that they were still somewhat frightened. Although Long Ruoran and the others had transformed into giant dragons and disappeared, the sight of Long Ruoran's enormous body, hundreds of meters long, had left the two women stunned. Not long after, Yin Tingting regained her senses and pouted, "Husband, earlier, that dragon." Long Ruoran said, "Husband," she must have meant to say, "husband," but later changed it to, "follower." Could it be that you too? Listening to Yin Tingting's words, Yin Wei shook her head with a bitter expression on her face. "Daughter, it's already this late, and you're still jealous. That Long Ruoran is at least a gold core stage monster. The golden dragon that flew over just now should be even stronger, probably at the nascent soul stage. I have felt the aura of a nascent soul stage cultivator before, and I won't forget that kind of aura." The spiritual pressure she emitted. That's why now. Yin Hui's face showed bitterness as she looked at the other people in the city lord's mansion who were discussing in fear. The key now is what the golden dragon said. The person or monster who can catch up to the golden dragon will definitely be even stronger. This place is truly dangerous. I hope it's a human cultivator, otherwise, Cottonwood City is in great danger this time. Not to mention a nascent soul stage or even more powerful monsters and demons. Even a foundation building stage monster and demon is far beyond what we people from Cottonwood City can resist. Lin Yi nodded, then his eyes shifted and he spoke. On his face, which was filled with a bitter expression, a sense of sadness appeared. He looked at Yin Ting, helplessly shaking his head. There's nothing I can do, Ting, you know about my constitution. Combined with the elixirs I refine and my talent in alchemy, this dragon race girl, Long Ruoran, took a liking to me all of a sudden. Before she diverted your attention, she mentioned that she wanted me to be her follower. I don't know what methods she used to detect it, but she discovered my constitution. So she was happy for a moment. I resisted desperately, but I didn't expect, a dragon, it's a dragon. How could I, as your husband, refuse? As he said this, Lin Yi's eyes became red. Yin Ting quickly came to Lin Yi's side and used her tender little hand to wipe his eyes. I know, my husband, this time it's not your fault. It's all because of that dragon race girl. I hate her for stealing my husband. Lin Yi gently patted her back and comforted her in a soft voice. It's all in the past now. Just like what my mother-in-law said, our priority now is to focus on the imminent danger. Mother-in-law, what do you think we should do? Yin Wei listened to Lin Yi's words with a puzzled look. Subconsciously, Yin Wei asked her own question. What do you mean by your special physique, son-in-law? What does it mean for the dragon race to detect your potential? Yin Ting grabbed onto this sentence and asked, her face turning red. But soon, she whispered to Yin Wei, explaining to her mother. In fact, Lin Yi has a special physique that allows people to improve their strength when they cultivate with him. It's much stronger than some of the dual cultivation techniques in the Joyous Union sect. After saying this, Yin Wei was stunned. What? In the next moment, Yin Wei stared at Lin Yi with an extremely astonished look in her eyes. Does that mean if I cultivate with Lin Yi, I can break through the bottleneck of the martial Dao Grandmaster realm? After saying this, Yin Hui's face was filled with joy, followed by a quick shake of her head. That's not what I meant, son-in-law, don't misunderstand. Lin Yi was a little dumbfounded. He had originally thought that the relationship between him and his mother-in-law would progress slowly, but this sentence provided endless possibilities. So it turns out that his mother-in-law also wants to break through. No wonder Yin Ting is a martial fanatic. After hearing about his special physique, she instantly became loyal, obedient, and eager to work hard to improve her strength. It seems that this trait runs in the family. Lin Yi pretended to take over the conversation. Don't worry, Lady Mother-in-law, I don't blame you. Anyone who hears about my special physique would have the same thoughts. I don't blame Lady Mother-in-law, and Ting won't either, right? Yin Ting seemed to not have heard Lin Yi's words and spoke to Yin Wei. Mother, could it be that you can continue to break through? Can you even break through the martial Dao Grandmaster realm? Mother, do you have such confidence? If you do, the fertile water should not flow into someone else's field. Shut up. Yin Hui's face turned red, and she angrily shouted at Yin Ting. Lin Yi remained silent. At this moment, someone approached the city lord's mansion. Those people had been petrified when they saw the scene of the golden dragon flying into the sky earlier. Now they were worried and hurriedly approached, asking Yin Wei how to arrange things for later. Yin Wei thought for a moment and quickly instructed these people to arrange for everyone to hide in a safe place. Yin Wei then pulled Yin Ting and Lin Yi, preparing to go to a secret mechanism in the city lord's mansion. Thinking about the location of that mechanism, Yin Hui's face became hotter and hotter. Inside Yin Hui's boudoir, there was a hidden passage that connected to the underground, which Yin Wei had prepared as an escape route for herself. The only problem was that the underground passage was too small. 3 people might be too crowded. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.